I can imagine her getting I have started the YouTube stream just in case you wanted to stop yourself from saying anything weird.
Never.
Sausages, right?
Never. Oh.
Ethically.
Okay. Welcome back to Offbeat Melody. Death from Among the Stars crossover. Guest star nonsense. Last time, we had the party travel across the Valley of Fiddler's Green, passing through town. Well, that was the previous session. But after leaving, after forming a plan at Dr. Ogilvy's and Zoe having a rather intense encounter with Agent Fallow, the group departed for the ski resort where they learned from the captured cultist Elias that survivors from the high school were being kept with plans to be sacrificed or further brainwashed to expand their numbers. And traveling through the forest, you managed to avoid most of the reconstructed except for a rather large reanimated grizzly bear, which seemed to be halfway through a more ritualized version of reconstruction compared to the fully formed reconstructed you've encountered so far. But dispatching that and heading up to the ski resort, thanks to a distraction from the general, you managed to reach the ski resort and through a plan managed to, through a rather intense series of events, managed to project the Benedict's fight song, basically, through the ski resort's PA system and managed to capture the cultist head, Ben Carmody, who you believe to be the source of this whole outbreak, and managed to go in, rescue the survivors, and we left off with Benedict and Kaiko using their respective flames to immolate the chitin choir. And unfortunately, this is not a flame that you will be able to stop. This ski resort is going up in flames. It is old and it is dry. Well, the insides are dry. It's been pretty heavy rain the last couple days. But you've managed to rescue about. I actually listened back. I didn't give an exact number. There is about 15 people, roughly, that you managed to pull out from the resort. And Phineas is cutting their hands and feet were tied because they were piled up around kindling around the totem pole of the chitin choir. Suki and Zoe, you have the cult leader Ben at knife point on the ground, bleeding from a shot to his gut, from bullet wound to his gut, and you both saw a handheld weapon drop from his robes that he tried to reach for, but you managed to stop him from pulling it. As the rest of the cultists, which, oh shoot, I actually don't remember how many. I think it was 9, 10 people.
A bunch.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
We had the leader, which is why we were able to stop them.
Yeah, by holding him at knife point and making him yell out, they've dropped their weapons, which was a scattering of just tools, hand axes, lots of axes actually, because forest town, and a couple of hunting guns, like hunting rifle and shotgun, a couple of pistols, but and Hal and Julie, you dealt with a pair of Talons that tried to sneak up on you when Julie's speech didn't go quite as well as planned. Eggman speech.
What are you talking about? What went perfectly?
It did draw out the ones in hiding.
It went the way she wanted, just not the way she really wanted.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want. What do you really want?
Tell me what you want. What you.
Oh, I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want.
So we start off from there. The people are starting to get up. A lot of them are shaking their heads, and like they look like all of them look like they have the worst headache or hangover, as they're just like stumbling out of the building as smoke starts pouring out, followed by Benedict and Keiko.
Can I use my tail to grab that gun?
Yeah, I think you were the one who knocked it out of his hand, so you would be able to pick it up, no problem.
Cool.
Yeah, I kind of got him with the knife at the throat, so like that's fine.
Yeah.
You're like kneeling on his back, right?
Yep.
Or like knee on his spine. But yeah. They're
What are the
looking
stats
at
for this thing?
I will have to get back to you. I knew I forgot something. Fuck.
Okay, it's alright. No worries. No worries.
I
What's this
literally
thing
told
called
myself
again?
earlier this week. It is a necroflincer. It is the handheld version of what you've seen built into the arms of the stingers. Probably it's a smaller version of it, but you see the same like green, like nuclear green wispy smoke leaking out of the barrel and from the where the chamber would be in a regular gun, but it's like this knot of metal and bone that is like seeping this material. Similar in a way to Suki's gun, I mean knife, but not as intensely smoking. It's just like faint emissions.
Necro FLINCER?
E instead of I.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, she snatches it up with her tail.
It feels like your hand is like a little bit numb, or your tail when you pick it up. It's like when your hand falls asleep and there's like that faint little prickling
Ooh, I hate it.
sensation. But it's not
Ooh,
like
I hate
too
it.
bad.
Kitty, why? Hi, cat.
So, Zoe like goes down to face height with this guy and hisses at him. What are you doing here?
And he like looks at you as best he can with can't really turn his head with a knife at his throat. But he just goes
yanking the head around over to look at her a little better.
ah, you know exactly what we're doing here. And they grimace and like hiss through clenched teeth as like they're clearly in pain because getting shot in the gut is supposed to be one of the worst places to get hit.
Yeah. Gut pain sucks.
And let's not forget, got shot in the knee with a magnum.
Oh
yeah,
that was the other guy.
Right.
That's the other guy.
There's a guy who's still like on the ground, like actually he probably bled out by this point.
Oh no.
Well, I'll say that like some of the other cultists like stopped and are like helping staunch the flow, but he's still like
You're not supposed to die yet. That's absolutely fair. This is the post. Like, everyone's getting their heads together, like, oh, well, he's about to die. It's like, fine, he can live for now.
Where is your boss? She puts a pair of her hands on each side of his head.
And he's like staring right into your eyes, and he like you can see they're like bloodshot, but like looking closely now, you thought his eyes might have been just like dilated from pain or maybe he was on something, but his eyes aren't his pupils aren't dilated. They're broken. They're warped. It's like the pupils are breaking out of the iris, and
Oh god! Oh god!
just closely, you can tell this man is starting to mutate in some way.
God.
And he just stares at you, and he goes,
He's just staring at us,
he's
menacing.
the holy necromancer. He's at where he made planetfall, by the river. You should go meet him.
Why are
Hey,
you
bro.
after the worm?
Oh no, we're after the worm. It's a gift. The worm would be a problem. It eats the dead. So
Oh, a good
we the
word.
living will
Nice.
deal with it.
I see.
If my disciples haven't already dealt with it. Although, and he like looks up at the sky where it's still like, by this point the rain had tapered off, but it's still like very thickly, clouded, and there's still that distant rumble and then flash of the thunder rattle as they're flying around.
Yeah.
But he looks up and he goes, but the sky is not the right color. It's not the right time.
Did your people find the worm?
They're waiting for a witching hour.
And yeah, Kaiko says this. His eyes
color.
flick towards you and nods. Well, nods as best as he can with the knife before he
Yeah.
like gulps and goes, yes.
She hisses at him again and. Eyes Suki.
That's pretty easy. You just gotta walk without rhythm, and that'll attract the worm.
What?
Oh wait, you gotta walk with rhythm. Shit.
Yeah, you have to do a tap
What?
dance.
And Ben like goes, like tries to look over and is like, did you really make a Dune joke?
Oh, I was
Now?
actually going with the Fat Boy Slim video of Christopher Walken.
I like how the dude reference snapped him out of whatever condition he had for just a brief moment.
I mean, he was an astronomy assistant, nerd. So yeah.
A moment of familiarity.
So down by the river, he says, is where all
It's
of
where
this
they landed.
shit is coming from.
Probably the headwaters near the waterfall.
Yes, it was by the waterfall. That's where we called it.
Why?
And he like looks back at you and he goes, if you just kept listening to the song, you would know why. Everyone would know why.
Alright, I've heard enough. I've had
I think
plenty
same.
of crazy cultists with world-ending things. Tell me, is there any part of you still left that you would consider human?
And he doesn't answer that. It seems to confuse him at first for a moment.
I don't know, man. Look, I've had cultists go like, oh, I am ascended, and literally have red paint on their face. You have mutating eyes. It's not the weirdest thing I've seen, but it's kind of up there, I guess.
I'm still human for now.
Okay,
It's
cool.
not- Wasn't my time.
And Sugi's gonna look at you and Zoe, because you're the one kind of leading this. Like, it's up to you.
Oh god. Oh god.
Addict. Actually, it is not raining. It's mostly trailed off and seems to be a lull in the moment. But what's
I was
Benedict?
curious, since we have all the people outside now, I didn't want them to get like cold and shivering.
No, thankfully the rain stopped like pouring, like it drizzled off to like a faint drizzle as you were climbing the mountain. I don't know if I said otherwise, but I'm just going to say now that's what happened. By the time you reached here, it's it's not no rain, but it is still very cold and very wet. Everything's still wet and cold.
Mm-hmm. And you said,
Well,
by the time we set out for here, dawn was approaching, right?
Yeah, I never really gave us like a strict time, but it is probably getting close to like an hour or two from dawn.
Until dawn, one could say.
Yes. And you're at an old ski lodge.
Oh my god.
Oh no, Wendigos.
Would you like me to bloody my hands?
Well, I don't mind doing it. This is far from my first rodeo, Benedict.
Well, like he doesn't say that. He hasn't said that in character. I'm talking to you.
Oh. No, Suki's got the man at knife point and is not questioning it. She is letting Zoe, who is the more innocent of the two people in this interrogation situation, make the shot because her answer is he dies.
And I was asking, how would Benedict act in this moment? Or how, more specifically, how does the hunter act in this moment?
Yeah, one of the reasons I ask because currently he would be looking over all the civilians that he has rescued and has probably now turned his attention to all the cultists. Would you say they're hinging on the answer of what they're going to do with Mr. Ben?
There is a definite tension in them all as they are just riveted to watching Suki and Zoe with that guy.
There. Benedict.
So what would I roll to intimidate them into submission? Would that be a...
Manipulate someone, I would think.
That would be a weird check for me, which is perfect.
Because they are technically still human.
Alright, that's a 4 plus a 3 plus another 3.
I don't think Ben qualifies quite as human anymore, does he?
Yeah. Not he's a little wibbly wobbly. He's not quite... He's still human. He's just altered.
Okay, so you mind if I flavor this?
We are past the point of negotiation with Ben.
So as Kaiko walks out, her fire instinctively lunges at almost all the cultists, but she manages to pull it back and reel it back in, but just enough to where they know that whatever this fire is...
wants to eat them.
Not only that, but it's something that's very... This is the fire that burned down their entire god altar, as well as something that whatever scripture they have does not account for.
Or does?
And go ahead and roll manipulate someone.
That's a 4 plus a 6, so that's a flat 10.
10. So if you get 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them.
Which is
scaring the shit out of them. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, basically I want them kowtow to not be able to do anything.
What is the reason you give them? Or else you'll die?
They're scared as fuck.
Well, this is like dedicating your entire life to... Basically the way I'm figuring it is like dedicating your entire life to a religious commune, and then a fucking Cthulhu shows up.
That's a good cop, bad cop routine. Like...
If they're viewing this undeaf as a second better life, the threat of killing them in a way that it can't save them from has to be kind of terrifying.
Yeah, basically it's, oh, this thing could just instantly damn you.
It's like telling a fundamentalist, I'm going to keep you from going to heaven.
Oof.
And when this flame roars out, seeming to smell the corruption in their minds and souls, you rear it, you manage to pull it back. Actually, don't you have a thing about holding your flame back? Because it just had a nice little snack.
Yeah, the thing is, I've also been practicing it all session, so...
So I would still make you roll, though.
Another weird check it is. Sorry, my dice keeps rolling off the table, so that's
Try to escape.
yeah, it's that would be a 9.
Okay.
Two threes and another +3.
It's,
Pretty good.
yeah. So there's
It's
a
partial
moment of
success?
struggle. Yeah, there's a moment of struggle as it resists your command to come back to you, but there's a moment where you think that maybe it will just ignore you, but it does abate and is now just like this shroud of fire burning up your arm and like around your shoulder. And the cultists like stagger back, like some like bunch of them give like shouts of alarm because suddenly there's this blue fire coming at you that some of them think there's a face they saw on it as they just stagger back. And yeah, they seem much more intimidated now, and like that actually pushed them back away from their pile of weaponry that was mostly at their feet still. So
The fucking heavy metal X-Files theme blares through their mind for just a brief moment.
so yeah, what you
Interject.
go to do next?
Is there any bringing this one back?
I don't think he even wants to.
Maybe we should save the executions for after we've stopped the thing.
If we leave him alive, he's too much of a risk to sabotage any operation we do to the thing. To the necromancer.
We could tie him up.
Celia,
Go
he's not
ahead.
human anymore. Do you think that's gonna work?
That depends on what we tie him up with.
Do you have rope? Because I don't.
Kaiko does.
You
At a
see,
+7,
Phineas-
at a +10, Kaiko does. Good
I,
shit
you know,
too.
I would just say that like the rope is kind of a given.
We're in a ski lodge. They have all those ski
Yeah.
equipment. They have rope for that shit.
Also, I was gonna say, Phineas is standing next to you, Benedict, because he was helping the people out. But now that he's checked that, you know, besides some injuries, that nothing's serious, and now he's like standing next to you, and once again just doing the butterfly knife in his hand, just like a fidget spinner, just a blur as he's just staring daggers at the sky. The literal source of all this pain that has come to this town.
If I wanted to roll something from the Melis book, would that be a weird?
That would definitely be a weird.
Hal would kind of come forward just a little bit with his hands like held out to his sides, going, "Alright, so I know everybody's pissed off at this guy. I know everybody's pissed off at those guys over there. I would be. But imagine what you would feel like if you murdered all of them in cold blood and they would have come back if we'd gotten this necromancer."
That's what I was thinking.
What if he doesn't? What if
Well,
it's like
then we can come
Xanax?
back. Well, then we can come back and kill him at our leisure.
If he's still here.
I'm not proposing to leave him here without a guard. I'm proposing to leave him here with somebody who would be able to see exactly when or if it happens.
Can we
cannot
save
And if-
them?
That.
Is there?
And if he kills him, if he persuades them back with that song, all he's got to do is hum it in theory.
Not if we gag him.
Don't need to have your mouth to hum.
No, she
Learn that the hard way.
She's right, Suki. If there's a chance, we should try, right?
My logic is we should keep him alive because he has information that is valuable to us. Kaiko
You already
says
told
we
us.
get- Yes,
You already-
but But there are other things that they're doing, like whatever this great tree is, or...
As you're saying this, Kaiko, his eyes like flick at you and then away as if he's like, fuck.
Oh, he knows some shit!
Uh-huh.
So he knows that.
Suki, you feel him start pressing his neck against your throat. Or against the knife. Not like violently, but he's like putting pressure on it.
Just kill me. Just kill me.
Just
Zoe,
quietly
if
grabs the scruff of the back of his head, and pulls him away just enough.
So what's this about a tree? And I would be very honest with me, else you're not going to go to your heaven.
And he laughs at that and he goes, I know there's no heaven. There's not a hell. There's just reconstruction.
What do you think?
But I was warned about that flame. Oh, you are trouble. You're
in the hands of one of the best cult hunters in the nation. You have literal magic people coming to kick your ass, and enough people who want you dead that it's really a hard decision not to pull the knife now. You're up shit creek without a boat, buddy.
So would that be
You
another
either
intimidation
do
check?
what we say, or you die. You don't
So,
have
Sarah,
many
would that be
options here.
Would that be another intimidation check?
There's a voice from the survivors as a man who has like a bandaged eye and bandages around one arm. He goes, just fucking kill him. And then another voice calls out. He goes, no, there was something about a cave. And then another voice goes, just kill him, please. Kill
People,
him.
you're not helping, okay? We got this. You're fine.
Wait, cave?
Probably
And-
beneath the waterfall.
And one of the people, like the one who said cave and you pointed out, it's this woman, she steps forward and she goes, yeah, I think I heard him talking to another one and about a cave of bones.
Yeah, I remember the talking. Remember someone talking about that.
The rock giant caves.
Oh.
Who's it, what now?
And Phineas goes, oh fuck, they've been eating people for centuries. There's bones. And you hear Ben just start cackling. He goes, our greatest gift that we could have found. Centuries upon centuries of death and bone.
Great motherfucker.
Makes me feel a little better.
I would like to ask a question that I will roll for if possible, but healing all this shit, does Hal understand that this is sort of a disease?
It seems to be a disease. Similar to what the you would realize that the trespassers, psionic disease, if you want to call it that, it is similar to that, and there were people who recovered from it.
And I yanked that shit out of that other guy. Nobody's gonna stop him. He's gonna stroll right up to this guy, and I'm gonna roll for it.
Hal?
Oh.
Hal?
Alright, so I'm going to use advanced
Which
magic.
who are you talking about healing, Ben or the cultists?
I'm gonna put my hand right on his face.
Okay.
And I rolled a 12 for magic.
Oh goddamn! And that's even with the sword bonus.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I rolled a flat 12, so all of my bonuses are like fucking
damn.
15.
Do you have like an advanced move for that?
Yeah, I have advanced magic. On a 12 plus, you are infused with magical power. What you want to do happens, and the keeper will offer you some extra benefit on top of that.
Jesus Christ.
you explain exactly what you want to do.
Hal is like fucking tired of this shit. He's like, I'm not dealing with that. And he's like, he rolls up the sleeves of his flannel, puts his hand directly on this guy's forehead, and goes, "Whatever's in you, I'm gonna pull it right out, and you're gonna answer the goddamn questions we're asking."
And
Hal says, "Be gone, thought."
yeah,
Hal becomes the Witchfinder General.
yeah, you slap this hand over this guy's forehead, and like there's some old scars or new ones, cuts, and you clap your hand over his head. And what color is Hal's magic?
I don't think we've actually confirmed a color, but I'm
Kind of envision it as a light blue.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I envision it as like a glowing sequence of plaid.
I was imagining like an amber, but blue plaid.
I always imagined it as green.
He's gone to plaid.
He's healing people with the power of Dorothy's dress.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to headcanon it as when he's normal healing is just a normal light bluish color. When he's doing this kind of magical bullshit, it's the golden color.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, rather than the blue you saw, the group saw when Hal was tending to the wounds of the treehouse villagers, this is now just a radiant golden light as Ben screams like he's being, like he's on fire is how he's screaming. And then, like, Zoe, when you took a picture of Elias, you saw that halo of worms just crawling into his brain. And then, like, when it was broken, you saw them just, like, hovering around his head.
I think she's
now
grabbing
everyone
food.
can see it. Oh. Shit.
It's fine.
Well, Hal, you see this, and everyone sees this, as Hal, you reach. For a moment, it looks like you're reaching into this man's head itself, like your hand is just phasing into this man's skull, and you reach in and pull out a fistful of squirming, writhing, iridescent yet translucent, snapping worms, and they just burn in your hand. And
Jesus.
You cannot cure this man's mutation, but you have freed his mind. At least for the moment. This man, you realize that in trying to heal him, his mind and soul are basically scar tissue now. They have been corroded and been fucked with, for lack of a better term, by this song for so long that there is no saving him. But as you reach and like burn these psionic worms from his mind, he looks up at you and you just see, even in his mutated eyes, just that same horror that Elias had washes over him, and he goes, "Oh God!" But then it's only momentary, and then he like looks at you intensely. And goes, "You have to kill me."
What?
There, I'll tell you everything I know, but you have to kill me afterwards.
Tell
Why?
us quickly.
Because it's Zombo rules. We're dealing with zombies.
No. Talk, please. Why?
Hal looks at Zoe and goes, "He's way too far gone. He will just... This is... His
It is a
soul is
temporary
scar
reprieve.
tissue."
Ooh.
Is he just going to go back? Turn back?
Yeah.
If you let me hear that song again, there's nothing that can stop me.
We
Maybe
sucked the
then,
song
and
up.
he looks to the others, the other cultists, as they're just like staring in both fear and like shock at this development. But he goes, "They might be able to be saved. I don't know. Maybe
As
some
quickly
of
as...
the newer ones can be."
Basically, you have taken the helmet off of Darth Vader.
We promise we'll do our best. Just as quickly as you possibly can, tell us what we need to know to stop this. And he squeezes his
I
hand where
sent
there's...
disciples. I sent disciples to the old cemetery, and he describes an old path that's to the west of the town. It's kind of to the south of here, but it's further west, more in the mountains. He goes, it was the first cemetery of the town before it was relocated after after a landslide wiped out the first village. But we found old stories saying that the worm, eater of the graves, or we thought it would be a threat, and it is. The reconstructed that went there never came back. And then he goes on, and he's like, and then just today we discovered the rock giant's cave. We knew there were rock giants here, and that they must have had a lair, but no one could have found it. And he says it's actually on the eastern part of the valley, not far from the treehouse village.
Oh God!
Oh my god. Okay.
Like a couple miles, but it's like
That's still too
shockingly
close for
close
comfort.
because that was the that was the home of the Sasquatch family.
Ooh.
And he goes, and then the tree. When the sky is bewitched, the tree is revealed, the source of water, the source of life. And he goes, supposedly during the bewitching, the tree appears at the top of the top of the waterfall, as if the waterfall is coming from the tree itself. There's supposed to be something inside it, something ancient, something older than humans, and they want to take it. The necromancer wants to take it to consume it, to increase their power so they can just consume everything.
Now,
Ah,
if we take him out, this necromancer of yours. Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full. I'm trying to get this out real quick.
That's okay.
Will that end everything?
I believe so. I don't really know. I know that they command the reconstructed and that they create the reconstructed. But okay.
and
He didn't come with the meteor. He came after the meteor.
so what was in the meteor?
You have to destroy the cauldron. We called the meteor down, and then when we showed up, we saw that the meteor cracked open, and inside was the cauldron. And sleeping inside the cauldron was the troll.
Oh,
We saw it kill the Sasquatch, and then it with that death of it and the hunters, that those poor bastards, they were just out hunting, possums at night.
It's fine. Keep going.
And he's just like, and he like snaps as he's like starting to cry as he goes, using their deaths on with his blade, he cut space. And from that terror, the necromancer and something else stepped through. I don't know what it was that came with it, but it was like a statue of crystal just floating with it. And it just stuck with him every time I saw him. It was just always with him. This blood red crystal. The statue. It looked like the talons almost, but as if the crystal was growing from it, and it just floated near him constantly. And I got a worse feeling from him than him, because him I could understand, but that thing was, oh god. And he pauses as he thinks about it. He goes, that's the source of the choir. The seeds were taken from that.
oh,
So,
we
Well,
need
that's
to
good to know.
destroy the necromancer, save the worm, and destroy that crystal.
The necromancer, if I have to guess, and he's just like takes a deep sigh. He's just like trying to focus, past his grief and just pain for a second. And he goes, "You have to kill the necromancer, shatter the crystal, and break the cauldron.
And the
And
cauldron.
they won't
Simple
be able
enough.
to spread.
Okay.
The cauldron
where-
is the source of it all."
So the cauldron's the meteor. In the meteor.
Yes,
Where's the necromancer? Are they going to be with the cauldron?
with the cauldron.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Suki, you would know when you tried to cut. When you focused on when you did your hunter thing. I can't remember what it was called. You know that's exactly where it was. That crater. Something
Yep,
was
I know.
blocking your vision from that ritual, but you know that they were there.
I know where right next to the waterfall they are. Roughly. Like, not 100%, like, it's in this specific spot, but...
Yeah, and Ben's, he further explains that the crash is like half a mile away from the river, and then it's like the river continues on to the waterfall, so it's not like right on it.
Oh.
But it's close enough that it would be, and that within walking distance of those things.
Mhm.
Can we save any of them?
And he goes, I don't know. I've broken so many of them, I don't know. And you see like drips of blood like start leaking as he's just like not purposely putting his full weight, but he's no longer like resisting the weight of his head against the knife, or like you holding his head up, Suki.
I've still got him by the scruff of the back of his head, so he's not going
Yeah.
too far into that knife.
Or, organ failure.
There's also that.
Because you ripped out the thing that's effectively been keeping him going.
Look,
During this slight lull in conversation, Julie turns to Kaiko and says, "Man, when you started talking about cauldrons and then said there was a living thing inside the cauldron, I was really scared he was going to say it was Gurgi. I don't know if I've got it in me to go up against Gurgi, man. That thing's fucking terrifying."
Spoiler: Gurgi's the necromancer.
Wait, I get to kill Gurgi.
Yeah!
What is a Gurgi?
And she's whispering this. Not the rest of you can't hear it.
Yeah.
Zoe looks up to the sky. Can she see the thunder rattle in the sky at all?
You see lightning flashing up, like closer to town. It was.
Okay.
I can't remember if this is what we said, but you got this
Correct
sense
me.
that it's like doing kind of a distraction. It's trying to draw
Okay.
notice.
Okay. And how far is the graveyard that he pointed out?
From here, it's not too far actually. It's further southwest.
How many did you send to the
Okay.
graveyard?
And he goes, 5. We found we raided the witch's hut years ago, back when I first started this, and there was instructions on how to make an arrow that could kill it. So
All right, I'm gonna go save the worm.
Was you?
and Phineas goes, "We need to get them." I'm sorry to interject, but we have a responsibility to get these people home, to safety.
Yeah, but there's enough of us. We don't need to all do it. We have a time limit here. They're moving.
Correct.
Um,
However, Zig, you are
only flesh and bone. You require rest.
I'll
That
be
was-
fine.
That was actually something I was going to get to. The group is, even with Kaiko's, frankly, should be illegal tea. The group is starting to run low on steam. You're gonna have to find a place to hold up and, sleep. Benedict, being, Benedict doesn't really have to worry about that.
Hmm.
But
We have
even
a
with your snakiness,
responsibility to these people to escort them to safety, and luckily, daylight is coming. The reconstructed will bunker down. It's
But
the
the
safest time
humans
to move
won't.
them.
The people
Yeah.
won't.
That is
Ben
why
goes-
we must move as a group to protect them. Or at least
No.
you should.
Ben says, he kind of talks up from where Suki's still holding him. He goes, "The worm only shows up when the sky changes colors."
Okay, so we have until the witching hour.
Also, that begs the question: how do you know about my thing?
And he looks up and he goes, "The dreams that the worm star sends, they have many lessons and warnings. A lot of them don't even make sense until the situation arises. I didn't even know I knew about this until I saw you." And he looks to the flame that's almost perched on your shoulder, if that could even be said for it. And he goes, "That is of the Greys, right?
Yes.
The Wraith Flame."
Mm.
Or Ghost Fire. The translation was weird.
So you got a prophetic vision?
No, not prophetic. Lessons. Things that the Worm Star has dealt with, and
Oh, so the worm stars run into Greys before.
he gives he goes,
Yeah.
I assume so. They didn't exactly give me an encyclopedia. It's just I saw that and I immediately knew, oh crap, that is, well, he's not exact. Sorry, this is more of my actual speaking pattern. He goes, "I saw that and realized that is one of the Grey's weapons." It was just recognition. I don't know what those worms put into my brain.
Wasn't nice.
And Kaiko, you can tell he's telling the truth, that he seems rather confused. Or not confused, but it's just when he starts thinking about it, he starts getting confused.
Alright. So.
And then I sent another group, about 6 or 7, to the caves. I didn't assign the actual people. I just told them to grab people and then to go there and start gathering up as many of the bones as they can. The cauldron feeds on death and bodies. This would have been a great gift for them. They would have been able to grow the reconstructed army much faster.
So you need to take the bones to the cauldron first. You can't just.
Yeah, we were going to gather it up and transport it.
So you put in dead material and put it out as reconstructed.
From what I saw the few times that I was he goes, the few times I was blessed enough to, the few times that I saw the necromancer perform the ritual, yes. The dead, corpses, meat, biomass. It was meat is meat, is what they told me. The butcher's shop, we raided and transported it all. The deers we hunted.
Okay. I understand. I understand.
So, Hal is sitting in front of this guy now, and he's been blinking his eyes and not looking at anything. he looks up at Suki, and you can see that there's like sparks of that yellow light in his eyes. It's fading away now. So I guess we know what we're doing now.
We got the necessary information.
I think the stone giant corpses are not high priority because they need to get the bodies to the cauldron.
But again, they don't need to. They don't need the witching hour. Do they need the witching hour to make reconstructed?
No,
See,
they just need the cauldron.
the worm is fine until the witching hour. The tree is fine until the witching hour. But they can continue to make reconstructed until we destroy the cauldron.
Seems it's
Yes, we want to avoid a witching hour.
How?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little blip noise from your pocket.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
And then you pull out the little spindle tracker, and it registers a Sasquatch signature
Oh,
approaching, like coming up the mountain.
that's bad. He shows it to Kaig and goes, "This is bad, right?"
And there's the only one Sasquatch we killed. Did you reconstruct another?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
And he looks confused and he goes, "No, there's only the one that the troll killed."
Wait a minute.
And you start hearing, because this is actually like approaching rather quickly. Phineas, like he goes, well, the only other Sasquatch you see stepping through the trees alone is Arma, the mate
Mother?
of the patriarch. Yeah. And
Okay.
she steps over and she like freezes and like realizing that it's like everyone, a very large amount of people are suddenly staring at her. There's that instinctive Bigfoot urge to like, oh fuck, I need to get out of here before she like seems to pass through that block and just walks over to Phineas. And you actually see, following in the trees, now perched up in the trees, a group of the chimps had followed with her and are now like perched up in the trees. What's up with the stream?
What brings you all here? Yeah, Kai. I gotta go look.
His Maple Samurai says he's not getting any audio, but everything says it's all right on my end. So I don't.
Yeah, I hear the.
Okay, I hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
That's going. Okay.
I can hear it.
All right, Maple. So Arma looks over to Phineas and she like starts. I don't know if anyone here knows Sasquatch, but she starts growling.
I know a Sasquatch.
I've been able to speak general monster before.
Yeah, so I'd probably say that you're monster enough, especially as a monster mode right now. That sure you can hear her, and you hear her talking to Phineas, who walks up, and she goes, "We heard the transmission and we came to help if it needed." And she looks over to the people and she goes, "It's going to be dangerous moving this many people home." And Phineas just kind of sighs and goes, "Yeah, we were just talking about that." And she goes, and she points to one of the bigger trees in the like around the area, like that around the clearing. That she points to the largest tree nearby, and she goes, "Gather people up. I can help."
That's okay. She can help us get the people to safety.
All right.
She said to gather them up.
By that big tree.
And she nods and she like does like big motions, like gesturing to the survivor. She's like doing big follow me motions as she starts walking over to the tree.
She wants you all to follow her over to the big tree.
And Benedict, as the survivors start, there's like a hesitation in the group before they start following as Phineas starts encouraging other people. Because just imagine being in these people's shoes. They were suddenly gathered, attacked by zombies and cultists, and all they're being rescued by monsters. So, you actually feel a hand or like a pressure on your shoulder as you turn, and there's a woman, the same woman who mentioned the caves, and she's, everyone here has seen better days. She's pretty rough. She has some injuries, but she goes, "Are you? I don't believe it. You're actually a machine."
Correct, madam.
Benedict?
What?
And who are you supposed to be?
I just worked at the museum, the old lumber mill museum. You're in the journal, the Tinker Journal.
We found him in the woods.
He has memory problems.
And she's just she seems flabbergasted. She goes,
There's a damn fine coffee, though, I'll tell you that.
I'm Riley. I worked at the museum. There's an exhibit about the guy about Ismail. He used to call him the Tinker in Fiddler's Green history. He's the one who helped set up the lumber mill.
Interesting.
We have his journal up in the vault. I was only able to look through it a couple of times, but you were one of the more recent sketches in it, and one of the only English words in it. The rest is old Arabic cipher. We wanted to get people to look at it, but universities don't really come out this far.
You assume we're walking and the gathering and this is going on.
Yeah, she's just very interested in suddenly seeing this robot from a book.
Okay. First of all, the rest of the cultists who weren't as far gone as Benedict, not Benedict, but
Ben.
Ben. Damn Ben names.
Benedict, no.
Yeah. Whoops. I should have thought better about that.
No, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Ben's-
have the same name
our
in
Ben's-
real life.
Our Ben's better than your Ben.
It's got the cool Ben. You've just got Ben.
Yes, Ben.
Ben,
the
the
cooler
cooler
Ben.
You have
Our
dead
Ben
Ben.
has a built-in flamethrower.
This Ben's gonna be dead pretty soon, so don't worry about it.
Yes.
There can only be one.
So, yeah, as she's just sorry, regaining my train of thought.
Pull the trigger, Piglet.
Yeah, she just seems really enraptured at finding out that, there are robot people, and this book that I thought was some fanciful sci-fi imagining of this guy is actually real.
Very fascinating. I'll have to check it out later, but now please proceed to safety.
I love how Hunter Ben just could not give a single fuck about his origins.
Oh. I don't know if our Benedict was here, he'd be so intrigued.
Yeah, Hunter Benedict has shit to do.
And sorry, there was a question about the other cultists.
Yeah, the cultists who, not Ben, but the rest.
Ones we
who,
shout out. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I imagine they aren't as far gone.
Yeah, Ben said that some of them were there with him from the beginning, but others are newer. But actually, there's this commotion going on of the commotion of the Sasquatch and the chimps arriving and then gathering all the survivors over to a tree. You see some of the people like they start talking to each other, and then like half of them just book it the opposite direction. They are trying to run into the woods, like just.
I am
leave.
booking it after them.
So, how... Can I roll another intimidation check? To get
Perhaps.
them to stop?
Zoe, what were you doing?
I'm chasing after them.
Okay, there's about like. I really can't remember how many people I said there were, but there's like
There was 9
7
cultists.
people. Oh.
There was 9 cultists, you said. One of them can't go anywhere because his kneecap's
Okay,
gone.
so yeah, it's like 3 of them are running.
Okay, are
So
they running together or are they splitting up?
They started running together, but then they're just like, it does not look like they're going to stick together as they start splitting off.
All right, can I,
Okay.
as intimidate, do a wall of fire that cuts them off to intimidate them to stop?
And if that
Sure.
fails,
Would that be
send the
magic?
monkeys after them.
Would that be
That would be a
magic
weird-
to
that
create,
would-
like a blocking wall of fire?
Yeah, that would be use magic.
Alrighty, Kaika. 6, 3, 3, so that's a 12.
Okay. So,
I
Yeah.
can take a screenshot.
you do the wall of flame, and it's like the flame that's on your arm, it's like a little pops out, and then almost like the Kremzik from Transformers, you just see this little mote of fire run across in front of them, but leaving a trail of fire that grows into a wall behind it.
Oh my god.
And they skid to a stop, and they like start panically looking around, trying to look to see if they can go around it. And Zoe, that would give you
Zoe
time to
leaps
catch up.
behind them.
And
I'm so happy my fire is being cooperative today.
can I just constrict all 3 of them?
it's been well fed. Probably not all 3 because they were splitting up. So
Okay.
I'd say you could probably tackle one.
I could charge after another one.
So this is
Right.
She could
probably
tackle
really
one and
mean
grab.
to her.
She could grab one with her tail and grab the other 2
Yeah.
with her wings. She is very broad.
Yes, Zoe big. Could I grab one with my arms and grab another one with my tail and sling him into another person to knock them over?
Sure. That would be. I guess act under pressure. Or no, kick some ass, because you're literally kicking some
Alright.
ass.
Kick some ass. That's 6 plus 3, so 9, because I have unholy strength. So 9.
Alright. So I'll say that you go up, manage to, rather than just doing a full actual combat thing.
Yeah, because I don't want to
Um,
cause harm. I'm just trying to stop them.
yeah. You start grappling the one, and then, your tail lashes out, grabs the other, and you swing one of them into the
love to
other.
corral some cultists.
As the one that you didn't throw pulls out a knife you didn't see, and it's just like a pocket knife, but they do try to stab you, and it would only do 1 harm, but with your scale, it deflects it, and he's just trying to stab you, but your scales are not exact, because you do have at least 1 armor, right?
I have 2 armor and immortal.
Yeah, he's
so I
not
have-
getting through that.
Oh god, you know what it is? It's like the scene of in the Dragon Ball Z abridged movie where a scientist pulls out a machine gun and starts shooting Krillin, but Krillin just stand there.
I wonder what happened to launch.
Oh, I don't want to have a launch.
He tries to stab her, and she glares, does the pathetic look down at him.
The unique look of contempt reserved only for reptiles.
Yes. And so I have one in my hands and one in my tail, right?
Oh, you threw one of them at the other guy.
Right.
So those 2 are now tangled up, trying to get up as Hal runs over to them.
I grab the knife and like just crunch it in my hands.
Pathetic.
That seems to get the key point across as he's just like stops, like fully trying to resist.
Go back.
Hal has scruffed the other two and is like bodily pick them up.
Make you.
And you actually, so Keiko, the fire, you just gonna let it burn or try to pull it back?
Once they are detained, Keiko pulls it back.
Okay.
Roll
There
weird.
is that moment again where it resists, but it does obey because as you hear, in the back of your mind, you hear it whisper. It goes, "I listen for now. You're feeding me well."
Just smacking it with a newspaper. Down, boy! Down!
Yeah, how Keiko holds it in is she pulls out the bag of salt and holds it near her hand.
It's a shame it's not a vampire, otherwise you'd like fucking stiff garlic in its face.
So yeah, does he go back?
You actually get help as a couple of chimps, the mountain chimps, walk over with like weapons and start like escorting they start like holding the cultist at like spear and knife point as they start.
I, for one, was all for the plan of release the apes.
So I know they're doing it with their weapons, but I'm just imagining them taking their hand and walking them over. But they're still a chimp, so the guy's like, "Oh, I'm still fucking with that."
The chimp is smiling at him.
Oh shit! Oh no, I've seen.
Yeah.
No, I know this is going.
Yeah, but chimps are flashing teeth like warningly at these.
Oh no!
They're just all smiles.
Gordy, no!
Spoilers! I haven't seen it.
It's given away at the very beginning of the movie.
Are you going to send the cultists with the survivors?
Oh,
that's the question. We shouldn't send them with the survivors. We should, although
monkeys, keep an eye on them.
Keep them under wraps. Of.
Oh yeah.
Keiko hands like
monkeys.
Keiko hands a ton of like the climbing rope she had to the monkeys. Keep them under. Watch them like you're a painting in a rainforest cafe.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I get it.
God.
They don't.
Wow.
But they just nod and take the rope and start like helping tie the people up. And
does anybody else find it vaguely terrifying that they knew exactly what you were talking about, Keiko?
No, they get it. They did it, but they get the point of just like keep an eye on them. They just
I was about to say,
okay,
can you imagine in Monkey they're just going, well, what's a rainforest cafe? Oh, the hell do I know, man.
So they start tying up the cultists. Now you've got prisoners. The one with the mangled leg, they're like picked up by a couple of the other cultists. So,
my leg.
So, the group is the survivors and such are being gathered over at the tree with Phineas and Arma. And Arma, she like frowns as she like looks over. We've given monkeys captives. Arma looks over at Phineas and she. So if you went over, you'd hear her say, she goes, he would not want me to do this, to expose ourselves like this, but we all come from the same forest. And Phineas nods, like solemnly goes, yeah, I wouldn't let any of these fuckers see me with my hooves out normally, but we gotta do what we gotta do. And Arma nods.
Call for desperate measures. And,
And-
hey, you've helped them here a lot. That
Who are you saying
I'm
this
talking
to?
to them.
Okay, yeah.
Zoe came up and started talking to them.
Yeah.
You've
and
helped them. You've shown them that you guys can live, together in tandem, and it's fine.
And Phineas seems to like scoff at it. He goes, common enemy and all that, but it is optimistic, I guess. And Arma, she seems a little more receptive as she nods. Before she goes, okay, stand back and hurry. I can't do this long. And she turns to the tree and just shoves both first one hand into the bark and then another, and then you just see the Sasquatch pull as hard as she can as she just splits this tree down the middle. But rather than tearing it in half, you see there's actually another pair of fingers, another pair of hands reach through the bark from the other side, as you see ripping through, turning this tree into a portal. You see her son standing on the other side, holding it open, and on the other side of this tree gate, you see the treehouse village.
God,
That's fucking
that's
rad.
so cool. That's so
And
cool.
she just gives this grunt of like that even the humans understand as like get going as they start filing through.
Well, that would explain why Sasquatches are so elusive.
That's so cool.
Portal.
That's so cool.
Now the survivors start going through, and then the chimps go through with the cultists.
Is one chimp in the back with a spear just thrusting?
Are we going? Are we going
Yeah, that
with
was the
them, or
question.
where are we going, guys?
Ben's
We need to
still
make a
on the
choice
ground at knife point.
I would like to do something if we could have this opportunity.
Now's the time.
So when out of character. So when
sorry.
everybody goes to go chase after the cultist running away, and Suki is alone with Ben for the first time since she's had Ben in his arms, she kind of leans into him, and it's like, hey, I know this isn't going to be much of a comfort here at the end, but it's not your fault. This is pretty much worst scale scenario of you lost your will, so don't blame yourself. You know what I mean? It was beyond your control. I had a friend when I was a kid, before I got into the whole I chased down and world hunting cults. Her name was Emio, and she always believed in the best of people, no matter what. And she was trying to beg to the people's good senses when they cut her open in a cult sacrifice in front of me. That was fun. Like, watching your friends die is fun. That's not fun. But I think even in the end, yeah, he's listening. So I think in the end, you probably still would have forgiven him. And I've not been that. I've been anger and rage, and I usually do not go in nice and hold people at knife point in front of their cults. I usually, you got a bullet in your gut for me. You're welcome.
He does grimace at that as if reminded of that pain. Suddenly, the emotional turmoil distracted him for a moment, but now that he's been reminded, he's like, "Ow, ow, ow."
Yeah, that's gonna happen. So there's not a whole lot of options, because even if we wanted to save you, and if there was anything to save, you're gonna bleed out. But this is quicker. But
even if, and like before he replies, he goes, "It was not my will that did it, but it was still my hand that held the knife that slit their throats. I accept this."
It's like I said, I cannot say if there's anything beyond. I both hope and dread that there isn't, from the things I've seen, but if it makes you feel any better, they won't get you, bud. Hunter and I will make sure of that. And as you all are like gathering the captives and talking to Bigfoot, Suki just quietly slits his throat.
Oh my god.
Not in
And
anger,
there's,
not
like-
aggressively, just a quiet, clean cut.
Yeah, yeah.
As I imagine, you just gently set him on the ground against a tree.
She
Yeah,
holds
and-
him. She actually holds him until he dies.
Aww.
There
Awfully
is
romantic.
a look of relief on his face.
And she goes, Hunter? Hunter?
Yeah.
Benedict? I need your
He's not
flamethrowers.
standing very far, and he doesn't need any. He already gets the idea. The flamethrower whips out.
And a
However,
second...
it's not a very angry gesture. It's more like he's just flat out cremating him.
Yeah, and soon there's a second blaze joining the now roaring inferno of the ski resort.
Yeah.
Kind of
'Cause
feels
even
like
though it
shooting
was
him in
raining
the
pretty
head would
heavily,
be-
that was an old, dry interior. Sorry, what was that?
Kind of seems like shooting him in the head would have been quicker.
I mean, to be fair, he was already nearly dead. There's a lot of blood. There's still blood that's not on fire. It's just impressive.
It just
You
seems like shooting him in the head would have caused him less pain.
So he does not look.
So, I'm mainly saying this to piss off my mom, but, we're all getting therapy after this, right?
No.
I'll think about it.
We probably
I
should.
kind of feel like after this one, we're gonna need some.
We really probably
is-
should.
As the portal snaps shut, as it just seems to like really, once everyone's through, no one went through except for the chimps,
shit.
leaving just Arma with the group now. She
Can you
kind of
get-
turns.
Can you
Sorry,
get
what?
back safely?
She goes, "Oh yes, I can do fine.
Are you sure?
Yes."
God, that's just sound like to other people. So he's talking to the Bigfoot.
Grunts.
Probably you're hissing,
Probably?
like when you're talking to the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, probably. Still, he has been practicing, so this does make sense.
But and actually fit when Julie made the joke about getting therapy. Phineas actually like reaches into his vest, pulls out his flask, and just like he goes cheers and just takes a big ol' swig.
Mid.
I mean, that's how I normally deal with my problems, but I'm trying to cut it back.
And he he offers it. He goes, "Careful, it's strong stuff." And yeah, it is straight up moonshine. He goes, "Made that myself."
No, I'm no thanks. I already put a horrible liquid in my body today.
Well, he offered it to Julie.
Fair.
I mean, we all have health insurance as part of our job, so we could get.
Yeah, but what are we gonna say to our to
New
a
livers for
therapist?
everybody.
What are we going to say to a therapist?
I-
We fought zombies. We watched
I
people
mean-
die.
I mean, I haven't asked him, but I'm fairly sure Orin would know a therapist in the know.
Maybe.
Isaac's probably gonna have to hire whoever that is for Thimble.
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah.
the Dalek?
Oh my god.
We have the Dalek
Oh
already.
my god.
We have the Dalek!
Also, you know,
That's canon.
we have a
That's
therapist. We have a therapist Dalek apparently.
That's canon.
It's canon.
That's
Yeah,
We did that.
like that's still the
Oh,
weirdest
boy.
thing. I don't know if we made a robot to look like a Dalek from the Doctor Who show, but like, hey, whatever.
He was a legit Dalek from TV Land.
Yeah. No, Suki, that's just a Dalek from TV Land.
The fuck's a TV Land?
It's exactly what it sounds
It's
like.
the place where El Coatl's from, or rather got
Apparently,
tapped into.
in the vague multiple universe theory that we're going with, that a lot of fiction is real to an extent. I mean, perhaps
Jim
even
Valentine's
we are
actual
some
hat.
sort of entertainment fiction to others, if you think about
And
it.
Phineas
Wait, what was
goes,
that?
"Oh,
yeah.
like that Darkwing Duck episode."
Was that Celia?
I've got Jill Valentine's actual hat.
Are you wearing it?
No.
Oh.
Upon hearing that, the Benedict looks at Julie, looks at the rest of the group, is like, "Is this seriously what you devote your brain power to when you're not on the clock?"
Oh my god, what do you care?
And
It is
Phineas
our
goes,
free time. We are allowed to do with it as we please.
I goes, buddy, I think we all need a moment of levity after this.
Zoe looks legitimately angry. Like,
I mean,
she's like puffing
I'd
herself
rather
up.
be watching TV than dying of dysentery in a wagon.
Yeah, no, but like Zoe, like puffed herself up and like gets in Benedict's face.
Puff at her.
Yes.
See, all I can imagine is you being super cute, because that's what snakes are.
She's trying.
Also,
to
remember,
To be intimidating.
also,
she's
you're not
trying.
getting up in his face. You're getting over his face because he's tiny. And you're
Oh, that's
big.
right. Yeah, she's just looming over top of him because the hunter has been rude several times, and Zoe is
I'm just
emotionally
imagining
raw.
the fucking girls laughing at the fucking Pepe the Frog who's on the ground with all his food spilled.
Spaghetti filling out of his pocket.
Well, that was something.
I'm just saying, you people seem to like inventing existential problems.
Yeah, it's called anxiety.
Oh!
Sucks for you.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
yeah.
It doesn't suck to be me. I have 3 girlfriends.
Do they smoke weed?
Yes, they are real, and they do smoke weed.
And Phineas, it's
Wait,
just like, Celia, Phineas like, oh, nice.
Wait. Is that official now, Celia?
Pretty much.
Oh.
You can't sleep in a
Congrats.
giant cuddle pile and not be just a little gay.
Yeah. Congrats.
For 4 undowns chilling in a hot tub because they're so gay.
0 feet
Or-
apart.
So, the ski resort is catching fire. You're not sure if that will draw attention from further abroad. For the moment, the survivors are in relative safety back at the treehouse, with majority of the cult seemingly captured, and the source of it all cremated.
Okay.
What y'all want to do next? You do have Arma with you.
So for
kinda-
context, where the waterfall where the tree is and where the stone giant cave is the same place, right?
No.
Because they're both by waterfalls.
The stone giant cave, I believe, is near our treehouse place.
Yeah, that one was up in the by the hills near the treehouse village, the old resort that the Sasquatches were living in, and then allow the survivors to take refuge.
Yeah, and the graveyard is near, but like close to where the ski lodge where we're at right now.
Yeah, this is the close. It's the closest. The ski lodge
Landmark.
is the closest landmark to the graveyard. Yes.
And
Alright.
we want to get to where the cauldron and the necromancer are.
That one you can reach by following the river north.
Okay.
That one would be pretty easy. Which the tree is at the waterfall, at the top of the waterfall.
So, does the graveyard have any like structures in it, like say a gravekeeper shack?
This is an
Yes.
old abandoned graveyard. Think the graveyard that Hal found with the wolf.
Okay, so my suggestion is we head to the graveyard, deal with the 5 cult fucks there,
And bunker down there?
and bunker down there.
So, fun fact, if it's called a graveyard, that means there was a church there at one point.
Yes,
Oh.
but the church that was there is so gone. There's probably just like foundation left.
Yeah.
Ah.
So we might, I don't know, there might be some shelter there, but
We can go camping.
Either way, it's the place that's the closest, and that's the most egregious time-wise to deal with.
yeah.
You know,
And
you
then
know,
just
but
throwing it out there, the old, just since the hunter doesn't care, the journal, the Tinker's Journal, is in the museum that's by the river close to town.
Mhm.
I say we
And-
crash by the museum by the river because that potentially can get us to any location from there that we need to go to.
That is a good, like, central-ish location, I suppose.
And if we
And
all
then
fall asleep and we miss the entire day, we can board up the building before we leave. So that way, if zombies or the reconstructed come back out, we can be at least, secure and give us the time to wake up if they break through.
Pretty vaguely, that would be like the midpoint of like the different points of interest. And
We can
You-
split up in the morning to take on more than one thing at once. There's enough
yeah,
of us.
as Phineas goes, that makes sense. During the day, the zombies and then the reconstructed go to ground. They hide.
Where do they hide?
Joe followed him one time. They either go into cellars or just into houses. Places where there's no way the sunlight can get them.
Do they crumble in the sun?
We haven't tested that out, but we've never seen any of the zombies on. There have been, Joe and I have seen a few reconstructed out during the day, but it was always by itself and always going from shadow to shadow.
That's the motherfucker who drew the shortest straw.
Yeah.
Alright.
He goes, me and Joe think that maybe they're just like daytime patrol.
So
Hey,
we should go stop the people at the graveyard first, right? Before we go to this museum.
I think that'd be best. Stop by the graveyard, swing back to the museum.
Is that-
Because we don't know when a witching hour is going to happen. It could happen while we're asleep and we lose the worm.
how long will it take to get to the graveyard with the path we got?
Just winging it, probably like an hour. There's like 2 hours
Okay.
until sunrise.
Okay, so
How long will it
Closer,
take to get to...
closer to like 90 minutes to sunrise.
How long will it take to get to the museum?
Like 40 minutes, like half hour,
Okay.
40 minutes.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, we
that's mostly following the path back down the mountain and then taking the roads back. It's easier to go downhill because
Yeah.
going to the cemetery, that's a bit further up in town, up in the hills and mountains.
So how long then from the cemetery to the museum?
Oh God, math.
We're on the time crunch. I'm sorry.
I know, I do this to myself, and I don't even have a map. I've had weeks.
yeah, you've had weeks.
I'm just terrible at making like maps. My brain doesn't wrap around them. I've lived in a single town my whole life,
I know.
and everything's a grid.
I know the pain.
God, like the time I went to Virginia for like a weekend and I had to drive, I got lost so many times. But anyways, the probably like an hour, roughly. Without encountering anything. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
It's not bad either way.
That's not bad. No, we'll probably be exhausted by the time we get there, but
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
be daylight then, and we'll be safe.
I gotta tell you, whatever the fuck that was, he says, holding up one hand, he's like, I don't know if I can do that again, so I would rather there not be many more of these,
Yeah, I'd say you're tired, Hal, but because it was such, basically a nat 20 for that effect, you're not as tired as you would have expected from that, but you are tired.
This town is like pulling out some bullshit in me, and I'm not sure if I like it or not.
I agree, Hal.
It's not just Hal.
Yeah.
And so
You get trauma, and you get trauma, and you get trauma.
I
That
can
sounds
trauma.
like-
The trauma.
Kaiko's actually relatively trauma-free so far.
Yeah, because you have been able to control your fire.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Hal,
Yes.
you get it. There's another like beep from the tracker device, but it's a different beep, and it's an alert or it's a message from Fallow, just going status update. With a question mark.
Everyone's.
How do I answer that question?
Kaiko deal with it.
Tell them to fuck off.
Sassy.
Cultist dead or captured. Everyone else saved. Already back at tree due to bullshit.
Is the bullshit in like italics?
Yes.
And he goes, excellent, understood.
You remember, Kaiko, he is our enemy.
And I didn't tell him any information.
Be careful.
I mean,
I just said the cultist is dead,
Yeah.
and people are
But
saved.
Zoe is very suspicious of them.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And plus,
if we didn't answer him, he would have beeped that son of a bitch at a very inopportune time. I could just feel it. I turn the beeps off on this thing, and he says, like, looking for the messages. Can I turn the beeps off the messages? Because that's gonna fucking give me a heart attack.
Yeah.
You'd probably be fucking delighted to take our bodies back to Spindle.
There is a setting that you find, like flipping through the settings, you do find you can set it to vibrate mode. Because that would make sense. This is for tracking monsters in the wild. You don't really want it beeping too loud if you're tracking something, and it doesn't know you're tracking it. So yeah, it would be a little more stealthy.
Stop
Yeah,
beeping. My heart can't take any more of this bullshit.
Yeah, we're gonna have a really touching reunion. It's like, oh, we followed the sound of the phone. And we turn around, there's a fucking Spinosaurus.
thinking that.
God damn it.
Okay.
Alright, let's get to the graveyard. Cemetery thing.
okay. I'm gonna roll the preparedness just to see if I have any more of that tea, just to get us there without crashing.
I mean,
I think
You
you're
already drank
probably.
it?
Yeah, you still have the thermos.
Yeah.
We're also all filled with adrenaline.
I'm just
Kaiko. Yeah, Kaiko just pulls out like a bunch of like little tiny paper cups for shots and pours tea into each of it and hands it off to everyone.
You know, Kaiko,
And
this is probably part of the heart problems I've been having since we got here.
oh no.
He takes it and knocks it back.
You have heart problems?
Phineas,
Yeah, what?
have been having little heart palpitations all day for some reason.
Okay. Concerned
For some
snake
reason.
face.
Wouldn't it be
Oh, that's
fucked up?
actually
That's the
Phineas
thing
thinks
that
like
does
that.
him in after all the alien abductions and monster things.
A fucking heart attack.
That's actually how one of the Stephen King books ended. They survive all this supernatural bullshit and seal away the painting demon, and then 2 years later, the main character dies of a heart attack.
No, not the main character. His best
Or
friend.
one of the side characters, yeah.
Hey, you've read Doom McKee?
Yep.
I love Doom McKee. We'll talk about it later.
But Yeah, off to the cemetery then, or the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We must go. The
And-
brutes have our scent.
This time, you are joined by Arma, the Sasquatch.
No, wait. We have a brute in our party.
Or wait, actually, she would she continue at the party? She goes.
Yeah, she doesn't have to, honestly.
She goes. I wish I could stay with you, but I feel that I should be with my son and the rest.
Kaiko's gonna warn her. When you go back to your son, to tell them of the cultists are heading to the cave to get all the bodies and bones there. And Kaiko just or has Zoe communicate it back to them too, basically.
She understood what you said, and there's like this look that she like scowls, and she just gives this understanding nod.
Just
And
keep them all safe.
Please make sure to keep the necromancer away from Cannibal Cave.
Yeah, that would be.
and
I knew that place was bad news from the moment I heard its name, and I have no idea why.
so the Arma gives kind of a nod and then a wave as she turns and heads back into the woods. Actually, she goes up to the tree again and does the same trick where she rips it open, but this time it's only brief enough that she can slip through before it closes behind her.
Excellent.
That's super
cool.
handy.
And she is gone, leaving the group with Phineas and a burning ski lodge.
I feel
Alright,
like we
let's
should
go.
do something about that, but I don't know what we would be able to do. So I'm just gonna hope they have insurance.
We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
This place actually was like derelict for like several years, and like Kaiko and Benedict saw it when they went in to pull people out and to torch the choir. Like, it looks like it was the hangout place for the town's teens and delinquents for a while because there's like graffiti all over the walls. It just looks like it was the hangout place for a couple of years before it was the cult compound.
Also, I also remember that Kaiko would also say, turn on the radios when you get back to home and play this song over and over again.
Oh yeah, Arma said it was the transmission that got their attention.
Yeah, brought him here, yeah.
Okay.
The transmission from the observatory. It just took them a while to track you guys down. But
as we're going, Zoe grabs Julie's arm and tries to pull her away from people for a little bit.
Yeah, what you need to?
Hey, you know that thing you did to the needle bird?
Yeah.
Where's the needle bird at, by the way?
back in Melody.
I think
Yeah,
we left
but,
it with the rattlesnake since it's fucking huge.
Sure. Was that hard? Like, rewriting it?
She looks up for a moment and thinks about it. And you can see that a lot of thoughts are going through her head at the moment as she picks her words carefully. No, that came very naturally.
But, like, were you okay after?
Yeah, I'm fine.
When I was in the school, you know, when I went in to take a look, I turned into the little snake.
Mm-hmm.
There was a reconstructed in there,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It was just like messing around with the phone. That's all. It was just like being a little creature.
Yeah, zombies do that in movies sometimes.
But like, do you think we could rewrite them? They're under control of the necromancer, whatever. Do you think it's possible to give them free will?
Better keep that down, otherwise you're going to be
Yes,
hearing
she
accusations of
pulled-
heresy.
Zero, I need you to DM me something real quick.
So,
All right.
what do I
What's
need to
the-
do?
What's the answer to that question?
Sorry, repeat it. I was listening.
Zoe just
but I was
asked
also typing
Julie
something.
if there's a way to free the undead by rewriting them so they have free will.
Oh.
Can they be fixed? And this Julie's warlock patron would know that answer.
That's one way to put it.
But yeah,
While I'm thinking about this and messaging TT, who else is talking to whom? You're going on.
Kaiko's keeping her arm, holding her arm tightly.
The fire has gone down to like a smolder to like. It's not completely gone, but it has. It seems to understand the need for stealth. How's Sugi doing?
As far as anyone can tell, perfectly fine. Which is concerning.
I mean, it's about as concerning as everything else that has happened to Suki.
Suki, are you feeling okay?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Well, you just had to put a man down.
It's not my first time.
Yeah, but is that really something that gets easier?
And she kind of pauses, and she's like, that's a very good question. And then just keeps on walking.
Okay. Zoe, actually, the
follow-up
reason I was distracted was because I was doing this. Necroplancer pistol. 2 harm, mid-range, it's longer than close, but not far. Magic, unreliable, and redacted.
Alright, gotcha.
We should burn that thing.
Yeah, probably.
I don't like it.
But Zoe picked it up, but she hasn't really done anything with it, so like, no one really knows she has it except for maybe Suki.
Hey guys, look at this fun pistol I picked up. I mean, it just feels like a part of me, It's just so natural.
Yeah. Also, it's like a really good song's playing from it. I just want to wiggle.
Okay. Zoe, you have an answer.
No. What?
Zoe, you have an answer if you're ready.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm gonna steal a little control from you, Zero. Make a sharp check.
Oh fuck. Sure. Oh, that's a 6.
Okay, you don't notice it then. Julie says, "Yes, it should be worth a try."
Oh, okay, hold on.
Can I go to the
I
double
didn't
take?
roll very well, but I heard that. Yeah, I didn't roll well, but Zoe's eyes like narrow a little bit. Are you still Julie?
Yeah, obviously.
No. Is there a roll to like?
You got a 6 on that sharp check.
God damn it!
That's a failure.
And this is full on TT, keeper territory.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Because my character
Oh wait.
is involved with this stuff, so I can't exactly take control.
Was that investigate a mystery? TT?
You could try, sure.
No.
Yeah, you said
because I
sharp
have a
check.
+1.
No, that
I
was
have
a
a
sharp
plus-
check. That was just a straight up sharp check.
Sometimes we fail a roll.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But-
You definitely picked up something was weird about her voice with that first response.
Then can I roll and investigate a mystery?
No, this isn't
God
the
damn
main
it.
mystery. The main mystery is the undead.
Fuck.
Let that gnaw at you for a bit. Let's rewrite some zombies.
TT, did you say let that gnaw you for a bit?
I said let that gnaw at you.
Okay, good. I'm like, wait a minute. I think the Omega
Jesus Christ, I'm not that horny.
Okay, so as the group starts getting more into thick wilderness, I'm more untamed because this is going towards an area that is, God. Sorry, that destroyed me. I don't know why. I'm going to need 2 people in the group to roll act under pressures. Jeez, damn you, TZ.
Alright.
I don't know why that broke me for a second.
Anyone cool with me doing it?
Yeah, don't ask Hal to do act under pressure. He's bad at it.
Go right ahead.
No.
I'm gonna
for
burn a
me,
luck
that-
point for that one. So that's a
I got
success.
For me, that's a 12.
Or not. I'll just take it. That
What was it?
Snake Eyes.
Oh god.
Well, that is literally the average.
So yeah, Lydia, that was a heaven and hell roll.
Hey, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm still on the thing that happened with Julie. Can I have the general do a thing since he's just with me all the time?
Sure, why not?
He does have something.
Here
right?
comes the general. Rise up.
Yeah, I would have the general use sensitive, which is when you open up your brain to the psychic environment, roll plus weird. On a 10 or more, you gain a definite impression, a vision, tangible aura, overheard thought, etc. about something important. On a 7 to 9, you gain a hazy impression about something important. By a miss, your brain makes contact with something dangerous. Advanced sensitive, which I don't know if the general has. But yeah,
It does not.
I would roll that.
Go ahead.
That's an 8. Which is... God, I keep clicking back to Zoe's sheet. Hazy impression about something important.
Awesome. The general tries to sense what's going on with Julie, and his cat mind is suddenly engulfed in a vision of the infinite potential of this universe.
Oh God!
As he, as best as his feline brain can determine, conceives of all space and time simultaneously.
Oh my God!
And for a brief moment, hears the voice of what he could call God.
All right, the general got
I hand
into,
you a cheeseburger.
He experiences Kuehl theory.
I mean that's why I named Isaac Kuehl.
Yep.
Also, TT, the irony of a cat wanting a cheeseburger.
Okay,
So-
Yeah, the general is now gazing off into space. His pupils giant black saucers in his sockets, and lets out a little.
Uh-oh. General got into Julie's edibles.
General, are you okay? She picks him up and gives some stretches.
Congrats, Zoe, you broke the cat.
He
No.
he clings to you when you pick him up, like a cat that's kind of terrified, like his claws dig in, and he nuzzles against you with his head, but in a very shaky, stilted way.
Look,
No.
think of it this way, Zoe. Every cat
Every-
thinks they are the best creature on this earth. They think they are God, and you just proved him wrong, shattering his species' worldview entirely. Millions of
every-
years of evolution have just been disproven in his eyes.
The
God,
general has seen the face of God.
every action,
He's the general. He will recover.
Yes, he will.
every action Zoe's done has backfired in some way.
Yeah. This arc has not been kind.
I'm sorry.
It's the guest arcs. They're never kind.
So I feel like
So-
that's a nice hazy impression of what's going on.
Yeah,
And
that confirms my
Benedict.
suspicion, but
Our hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Do roll past lives before we get to the
Boy.
results of the act under pressures.
That would be. Do I have a bonus to that? No, it is a 10.
Okay. You turn around because for a moment you thought an old friend was talking behind you. And then once again you realize that Julie is another member.
Mm-hmm.
what?
She's part of a
Julie is-
sorority. One might say.
Oh, people with half the needles, I assume.
But unless were you gonna say anything? Sorry.
No, he's not exactly the sentimental type. So he registers it with some confusion, but then realizing, no, I'm just. Yeah.
So going along, it is you're walking at night. It's thankfully no longer raining, so it's not as miserable and difficult. But it still takes a while, probably longer than you were expecting as you're walking through this, because you're not. Now you're like going off trail and off. Well, eventually you do find a trail, but it took a while.
So we're
and
going off
so,
the offbeat track.
Oh, it's a reference to my show.
So, continuing along, there is a moment though where Phineas holds up a hand and like, oh, yes, before the group left, leaving the ski lodge, he did do his glamour again. So you have been moving under
Okay.
fulfillment of that. He like pauses the group, he's like stops the group and he's like, "Would you look at that?" And he points forward, and at first you see a gargoyle up in a tree that's just like kind of staring vaguely in your direction, but it doesn't focus on the group. And he goes, "I'll be. I wonder who blinks first." And then as you like sidle around it, you realize that the tree that it's staring at isn't a tree. It's in a staring contest with an observer, and they're just both locked eye to eye, just staring at each other.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
And like you're like creeping around it because like the observer at first was hidden by a tree, but as you're like creeping around it, the gargoyle is just staring. It seems to be like locked ahead, and you see the observer, while still making eye contact with the gargoyle, you see its hand like give a little like "go on" motion.
Don't interrupt our battle.
This is between me and him.
Oh my god.
And so you manage to skirt around that little random encounter, and yeah, you're continuing along, and it seems that the reconstructed haven't been this far beyond that gargoyle and a few others you've spotted. But if going by what Ben said, the reconstructed seem to be avoiding this area after a few of them, seem to have been eaten, if what the cultist said was true. But eventually, you start seeing some landmarks that Ben pointed out, like a lightning-struck tree. You gotta turn left and follow the fork in the path. This old deer path that is just probably as old as the forest itself. And
the trees are old here, older than balls.
You know that the graveyard is not far. How do you want to proceed?
Should we go guns blazing, or do you want to get a sneak jump on them?
Sneak attacks are always fun.
We're fairly good at
We are
those.
currently invisible.
The main question is...
Well, not invisible. You're discreet, is what Phineas says. He goes, I gotta stress, not invisible. Just, things don't pay attention to us.
got
We have
attention deflectors.
you cast pass without a trace. Gotcha.
It's a somebody else's problem field.
Basically, yeah.
That ain't my business. I'm just gonna let him go by. I mean, we should probably not completely announce our presence if it's possible.
And we've got a very big, easy distraction if we need it.
At the very least, the thing we should prioritize is destroying the bow and arrow they have.
Yeah, exactly.
And not getting hit by it unless you either die or develop psychic powers.
What?
I'm pretty sure this is a just die situation.
Yeah, I don't think Phineas would recognize a JoJo meme.
Zoe certainly doesn't.
Is that a reference?
Kaiko
Not a JoJo
is,
reference, just a reference.
Kaiko is in blank face, so you don't know.
Zoe doesn't.
It could be something. This could be something esoteric that she's studied from her studies, or it could be an anime reference. That's
or
the
both.
duology. It's the duology of Kaiko sometimes.
You can see
Is she
Hal's
being a nerd,
face.
or is she being a nerd?
You can see Hal's face just is also blank.
Yeah, usually Hal's able to pick up on her references. This one's esoteric even to you.
Has the general come back yet?
Yeah, I'd probably say, right, TT?
Sure, if you want.
He's a cat. They bounce back.
Yeah, the good part about having a more animalistic brain is that information leaves pretty damn quickly.
You only briefly gave him an existential crisis.
Oh no!
Wait, what?
So it's like, okay, I'll be brief. In the D&D game, I had a bag of tricks, and I accidentally used the bag of tricks to summon a mastiff, and the mastiff triggered a mad scientist experiment that gave it sentience, but then it realized, oh no, I get this desummoned at dawn. Oh god, and the DM just rubbed it in, giving my paladin existential crisis. I accidentally played God, and now I have this guilt.
You gave something awareness, but the awareness was it.
It has a limited lifespan.
That's fucking
awful.
mean.
God.
I will say that while the experience of seeing the face of God was to some extent traumatizing to the general, the Weaver is not a malevolent eldritch abomination.
Yeah.
And as such, there is a somewhat pleasant knowledge that is retained of being loved in the general's heart.
Aww. I really do like your approach to the Weaver. She's, alien, but not evil, not unkind.
Yeah, if we are like ants to her, just imagine a gigantic finger coming towards you and then just lightly patting you on the head.
Yeah, like Isaac's whole introduction to her, while it did kill him, it is like someone
He got
stepped on
better.
a pile of ants and it was just like felt really bad and then fixed one of them up and then gave it a job. But
Great, you gave the ant a job.
so the general has recovered from his glimpse of divinity.
God. Zoe
Yeah,
is
about right.
suspicious of Julie.
So, oh god, the dogs are going to start howling now.
So the graveyard, right?
Yeah, it's
Alright,
nearby. It's probably like another 5 minutes away. You would guess from the landmarks that Ben passed along.
Alright, there's like 5 people, right? That's what Ben said?
That's what he said. Yeah.
Alright, well, 5 humans is not a problem to deal with. So, like, are we gonna jump them, or do we want to just, like, try and talk them
Assuming they're
down?
still alive.
Slowly raising the magnum.
Alright, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going ahead.
Anyone
Okay.
else going to follow?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I will.
Or are you breaking the glamour or like breaking out of glamour's aura?
Zoe is breaking out of the glamour. She's not breaking it for everyone else, but she is leaving it to go ahead.
Yeah, I'd rather not let this eat actual people.
Okay, so Zoe's
And-
heading ahead, and then the rest of the group's following up behind with Phineas.
Mhm.
I believe Lydia was saying that Celia
Okay.
wanted to go too.
yep.
Okay, who all was going with Zoe, Celia, and anyone else?
I think it was just Celia and the rest of us are like creeping behind to make sure that nobody. That
No,
there's
they're the
only
bait.
5. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so
Celia,
Zoe?
between the two of us, we should just be able to knock them the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Celia, you're all frogged up still, right? From the rain?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And, okay. So to sneak ahead, I guess that would be another act under pressure.
Oh God. Act under pressure.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
That's
That's a
an 8.
9. 9.
Okay.
I have a 0 to that, so that was just a flat 8.
Okay, so that is 7 to 9. Keeper gives you worst outcome, hard choice, or price to pay.
Oh God.
Hard choice. Hard choice.
Hard choice. Okay. Let's see. Give me just a second to think. Okay. So the two of you slip ahead further out of the group, and after eventually you realize that like purple glint that was covering you, you really only notice if you focused on it is gone once you're a certain distance away from Phineas. But it's still dark, pre-dawn darkness, and you're both very, fairly stealthy on your own. But you start getting up closer, and you start seeing gaps through the trees as you realize that the clouds there's like some gaps in the clouds starting to appear, and there's actually a bit of moonlight starting to peek through as you spy ahead a clearing that is kind of sparkling with the kind of like the night dew from the rain on all this grass. There's some toppled tree logs, and you see faintly like some stones rising up out of the grass. That these ancient, centuries old tombstones. as you realize that this seems to be the place. But you see, as you're going along, Zoe, were you on the ground or in the air?
The ground.
Okay. You and Celia were going both along, and there's a moment where you're kind of paused, like not at the edge of this clearing, but further back, where you hear a shifting above you, and you both look up to see one of the cultists with an arrow, with a bow and an arrow, knocked and pulled, and like they seem to be looking at both of you, and that you get this sense in this moment of tension that they're going to shoot at whoever moves first.
Ooh, okay.
That is the hard
perfect.
choice.
Is he looking at us?
They see you. You kind of like snuck up under the tree they were in, but from the angle you were at, you didn't see them until they moved and heard the creak of the bow as they are like aiming an arrow down.
Okay, but so
And they're going to shoot at whoever does what first?
moves.
They seem, and it's just like that. We're kind of like bullet time right now. They seem in that brief moment. This is the hard choice. That you get the sense that they're going to fire at whoever moves first.
Celia's
okay.
going to
I
look
suddenly meowed in that.
Is
no hesitation.
what's she doing?
Looking up.
Leaping up at him.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay. Zoe, were you going to, or did you want to contest that, or?
I want to know if I'm able to lock eyes with him before he shoots.
It is not fast enough.
Okay.
Your mind zappy thing probably not. You're not going to be able to whammy him.
Fuck.
But Celia, so your first instinct, Zoe, was to mind zappy him. Celia, you are leaping at him. Celia, he fires at you, and you take 3 magic harm. As this arrow hits you, and you are rolled. Are you going after him? And if so, kick some ass.
That is a 10.
Ooh. On a 10, you choose an extra effect. You gain advantage for +1 forward for yourself or +1 forward to another hunter. Inflict total harm. Okay.
Okay.
So the next thing you do, you'll get a bonus of +1 to the roll. And
right.
what's your damage?
4.
Or how are you attacking?
Clamping onto him with her jaws.
Okay. So this guy fires off, and from the angle, it like lodges itself in your shoulder pretty deep. And but your momentum with those frog legs is just so powerful that it does not slow you as you crash through some of the lower branches and just kind of bash through his bow and chomp down on his shoulder. And unless you like hold yourself, you're both going to go toppling off as he gives a shout of large pain as this guy was not expecting to get 4 points of damage of frog teeth.
Roll initiative now.
Okay, well,
Zoe would be able to go first, and then probably initiative. Yeah.
Okay. Do you? No, I don't focus on that guy. He just shot Celia. I'm going to kick some ass.
Okay, at the moment, this is the only guy you see.
Yeah, but he just shot an arrow into Celia's shoulder.
Yeah.
Zoe
and at the moment, she's clamped down on his shoulder, like, just chomping down.
Yeah, but she's pissed. We're told how bad that arrow was, and Celia got shot with it. That's a 7 plus 1 from from Celia, and then plus 3 from Unholy Strength. So 11.
Okay. So that means you get an extra effect. And what were you using to attack?
My teeth. She is.
Okay.
She just like unfurls herself and like snake, lunges up at him.
how much damage does that do?
That does 3 harm. Wait, was it 3
And
harm?
were you using venom?
Let me check. 3 harm, drains 1 HP, ignores armor. And my venom does not do more harm, but it gives other hunters +1.
I mean, that's not going to be
She's
really useful because I really hate to do this to Zoe of all people, but that's enough to kill this guy if you're not holding yourself back.
Blood on your hands. It needs to happen.
Because even with NPC hit points, that's 7 points of damage between the two of you, and that's enough to take out a regular hunter.
Kill him and live with the guilt.
Jesus Christ!
Join the murder squad.
Is this the moment?
Well, she's doing it in defense of a friend.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. She like shoots up as they're falling down. What are the bonuses I can do? Is there one to? Is there like where's it? Trying to find the things I can do. Keep a check. Here we go. There is kick some. Under pressure. How about investigate? Okay. Okay. Force them where I want them. I want to keep the fall from hurting them more, even though the guy's about to be dead. I'm trying,
Okay.
because Celia's latched on. I want to catch them, like stop their fall, but just clamp onto his torso.
So basically, what happens is you Gwen Stacy him by accident.
Oh my god!
I was about to say, we are in a graveyard. You smack his head on a tombstone.
Jesus Christ!
No. Zoe just reacts. She just launches forward and just brings her jaws down on the guy's torso and just sinks her fangs in and everything.
Have you seen those videos where it's people with pet frogs and they're reach into their container and the frogs just launch themselves chewing on their hands?
Yeah.
It's like that, but Celia and Zoe.
So I'm stopping the fall so Celia does not hit the ground.
Yeah, and between Celia,
kill that guy.
Yeah, you both, and he there's a gasp as he there's a death rattle.
Oh.
And then you hear shouts from either side of you, as it seems there were others still in other trees. Now we'll do initiative, so act under pressure, everybody. Sorry, Zoe.
Fuck.
Okay, so initiative is dice plus.
It's an act
under pressure.
Okay,
Cool. So yeah.
That's
a
flat 10 for Kaiko.
That was
the
worst roll.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay.
Wow. 4.
I have a 0 in that.
So do I.
Okay.
Should we roll again, DM?
Should we roll against each other?
Oh, sure.
Roll
Waifu, what's your cool?
Please. Roll.
Kaiko and Julie. Good.
Waifu, what's the cool?
TT.
Sorry, what?
Waifu, what's the cool?
Oh, my cool is 3.
Okay, so you go first.
Callie.
Celia, Julie, Kaiko.
Julie's cool as shit.
6? Okay, I got a 6 too! What the fuck?
God damn it!
They're in sync.
What the fuck? Okay,
there.
let's go again.
I got a fucking
7.
2. All right.
7. Okay. I go first. I go before you.
Jesus.
Okay. So then Suki.
Benedict. Yeah, Suki, Benedict. Celia. Zoe, and Hal.
Okay. So Celia.
Yeah?
You are right there, and you know what just happened, and your good friend Zoe just accidentally finished this guy off. As there's other shouts from either side of you as you now that they're shouting and moving, you see other cultists were up in the trees, but these ones have what look to be hunting rifles.
Oh, I should roll for the general.
Celia's going to
I'll
reach.
just say he
Oh my
goes
God.
after you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar rules.
Celia's going to unsheath her sword and then enact the most classical of all action movie fights and charge the nearest dude with a rifle in an attempt to swing at him.
Okay, kick some ass. What if he act
Does
under
they
pressure to get over there?
That is a 10.
That's a high enough. Yeah. So you do like the Wuxia movie, like bouncing between treetops with the katana as this person tries to pull the gun at you. What's your extra effect? Which are gain advantage like you did, inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, or force them where you want them.
Suffer less harm.
Okay. So you do the Naruto tree run at him, and he fires off, but in the darkness and trying to shoot at such a big thing, it glances off, dealing. Let's see, what does a hunter's rifle do actually? I know
3
that's
harm.
actually
3.
3 harm. So it would have been reduced to 2 harm, which I think you have armor of 2, right?
Yep.
So wait,
So-
does Celia do the thing with the katana where she cuts the bullet in half?
Yes.
So yeah, you managed to go up. And how much does the sword do, or are you chomping again?
4 harm.
Okay. So yeah, you slice into them, and they give a shout as they are nearly sent toppling off of the tree. They've got like these hunter chairs, like the people who go deer hunting use, but they think thankfully for them they don't go toppling, but not thankfully for them they're still within sword reach of you. Julie.
Okay.
You hear the shouting now, and I'll just say that the group is catching up, that you'll be able to run ahead probably and be in the thick of it. Although
Will I
these
go
people
run ahead
are
to
up
get
in the
in the thick of
trees.
it?
Okay. You see a person up in a tree stand with a hunting rifle starting to aim over at Celia. They would be the closest one.
Are these zombies or people?
These are cultists.
Cultists. Okay. Let me see what my actual reach on
And,
this fucking thing is. Oh, it's
Like
close.
you're only seeing them because like right above the cemetery there's like a break in the clouds, and there's like moon and starlight coming through.
All right.
And I was like, when you look up, it's the only break in the clouds.
I just watched Nope, so that's ominous to me. I'm gonna do a kick some ass to like fucking attack, grab one of these fuckers out of the tree.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, that's a 13.
Fuck.
And do you have advanced kick some ass?
I do I? I don't think so.
Okay.
But
Hey,
uh,
Zoe's
murder-
murder-
it's a fucking
Zoe's-
13. And my extra condition is I want to move them where I want them, which is on the fucking ground.
Okay.
And these don't count as monsters, right?
No, these are what's the word in the game parlance? Minions?
Yeah, essentially. Okay, so that's 4 harm to this fucker.
Yeah.
To the one I grabbed.
I'm gonna say that by forcing them where you want them is falling out of a tree that would deal an additional harm, which is enough to take them out. These are minions. They only have 5 hit points.
I look at the other one on the tree. I'm like, you done fucked up.
And yeah, like Uh, I don't know. This might be a little too wacky, and I don't know if you'll allow this, but I just almost see the arm, like your hand, just like shooting out with a chain of needles connecting and just pulling the guy out like scorpion style.
Ah,
That's what I'm imagining, actually. Like, I haven't set it up so that it can do that, like, officially yet, but that's gonna be at least the flavor text.
Hell yeah.
Give it the far classifier.
It's gonna be fucking Metroid's grabby bit in Smash Brothers.
Nice. So yeah, you reach up and you pull him down, and like these things stab into his leg, pulling him down. But like someone said before, he falls, and there's kind of a crunch sound as his head bounces off of a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he dead too?
Yeah, he's
Yep.
dead.
Oh fuck.
Julie is very good at the one hit KOs.
Yeah, that's because the Chosen One is kind of built to be a tank.
True. So, Peko.
Hmm.
Julie just pointed menacingly at the last survivor that's not occupied by Celia attacking them.
This class would be really broken if I didn't play Julie as kind of an idiot.
Alright.
And
Kaneko was not
they
going
are
to use
also
her.
aiming a gun in the direction of your girlfriend.
Kaiko's not going to use her fire, because that's a bad idea.
These are people.
Okay, that would be an 11. Kaiko is going to take out her pistol and shoot at the guy aiming the gun. And I'm going to do where I want him, which is gun out of hand, so I'm shooting his hand. So he drops the gun since it's in a tree.
Okay.
And that's
just
that's just a 2 harm from the pistol.
Okay. And how much did you roll?
11.
Okay.
And I said I wanted where I wanted him.
I need you to contest against your fire.
Even though I used the gun?
Mm-hmm.
Fire on me.
That's a 12.
Okay. You're shooting at this guy's hand?
Yes.
Okay. There's a moment where you're aiming the pistol at this guy, and you're remembering the training from your sister, right?
Yeah.
And as you pull the trigger, you realize that the flame has jumped from your other hand to that hand. Because I don't know if Keiko would aim with the flame hand, right?
She uses both hands.
Well, that's perfect. The flame, like, leaps up into the gun as you fire it, and like a tracer round, you see this flame traveling with the round, and it strikes the gun and this man's hand. But you win the brief momentary battle of wills as it just burns him, but does not spread to him. And he drops the gun. But your fire is definitely starting to be a little more lively. Next, that would be Suki.
Oh, yes. Hello. How many people are left standing at this point in the trees?
There's the one that Celia slashed at and is fighting in the tree that looks like they're pretty close to done. And then there's the one that Keiko just shot the gun out of their hand.
Okay.
And you saw where that one is because of the whole tracer round like effect of the teal flame.
Well,
or the blue flame.
She's gonna pull out her rifle and shoot the man.
Go for it.
Kitty, can you not do that?
Ooh! Let me see how that is with the stats. Ooh! 12!
Nice. Do you have advanced kicks and miss? I know a couple people in the group took that recently.
I do not have that.
Fairly recently. Okay. So, you get an extra effect, though.
Yes. I want to move him where I
advantage
want him.
off the tree.
Out of the tree.
Okay. And how much damage does hunting rifle is 3 damage?
To
Or-
harm, far, loud.
Okay. So, yeah. Again, with the extra damage from the fall, since I gave that to Julie, with that and then the damage from Kaiko's shot, this guy, you fire and you see him like do the dramatic like cannon action, fall out of the tree, just and just falls down like a bad dummy shot.
That man Wilhelm scream.
I can't do the Wilhelm scream, so
No.
you'll have to just
No,
imagine
one
it.
can.
That's in
I
character.
killed the only man capable of doing it to get that scream.
That was in character. It's just like, did that man just Wilhelm scream out of a tree?
So, Benedict, the only one that's left is the one that is harassing, or well, I guess more accurately, being harassed by Celia.
Cool. This is perfect, actually. That's
This group is like actually pretty deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 plus. That's a kick-ass, right?
I would not be surprised if Offbeat Melody is one of the longest running Monster of the Week games in history.
Yeah.
All right, that's a. This is a perfect opportunity. I rolled an 11 to kick ass.
Nice. So you get the extra effect. Advantage, or so you get +1 forward, or give +1 to another hunter, inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, or force them where you want them.
Inflict terrible harm.
Ooh.
Okay. And that with the magnum?
Yeah, so what he does is he, so how do you got him pinned down, Celia, or you're like tussling with him?
Yeah.
He's like up in a tree stand seat, and Celia's like, I pictured like perched on a branch near, like right by him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I imagine Celia.
So they're
imagine-
a little bit up then.
Oh yeah.
I imagine Celia's like, I'm going to take you down to the ground with me. The Benedict is over there. Before you do that, move your head a little.
Oh, okay.
And then a hole disappears in the guy's head.
Yeah. He'll do exactly that.
Move your
And as soon as he has blown a hole in this person's brain, to call back what she said earlier, they're merciful.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
And with the echo of that last, heavy magnum shot, just silence falls, and it seems that for the moment it's just you all in this field.
Zoe's mouth slowly releases the corpse and drops it to the ground.
Yeah, it just drops with a thud.
And she's just staring down at it. Who was this person? What did they look like?
They were a man, probably late 20s, early 30s, kind of Isaac Sage-ish looking.
Ooh, fuck.
Scruffy, like facial hair clearly hasn't shaved in like probably a couple, like a week or so. Has the typical like scars and wounds that you saw on the other cultists, and yeah, they were just wearing like typical clothing, because they had like a parka on actually, or like a rain jacket. Or, what is it? I don't have.
A
I live in a
poncho.
desert. So poncho. That's it. I live in a desert, so I rarely have to use these things. Yeah, it's like they were wearing ponchos just because it'd been raining so much recently, and while they are like death cultists, it's like still miserable to be out in the rain for so long during the night. But
Can't do evil if you catch a cold.
yeah, and yeah, they just that's kind of the worst thing about cults is
What color is his
and
eyes?
cultists, they just look like normal people. Like he's just got brown eyes, and if you look, they don't have that same mutation that Ben had. He, like that's just the problem with cultists is they just look like anyone else.
Zoe is just like silently looking into the guy's eyes.
And Phineas, like he like probably shows up. You know, he ran up and like he's like surveying the thing, and then he sees Zoe, and then he's like, "Oh," and he like looks over to Hal, and like he gives a nudge of his head towards Zoe, toward looking over at Hal.
He has like blood dripping from her fangs.
Okay, so Hal's player has no idea how to approach this because.
Or
well, you never forget your first.
Hal,
Zoe's players, you're doing this on the fly.
Hal kind of shuffles over and like very gently turns her head with his he puts his hands directly around your mouth and turns your face towards him.
You can feel her like trembling under your hands.
He's gonna do that soothe bullshit that he can do, just speaking to somebody in a calm tone for at least a minute to calm them down. He's gonna go, Zoe, I need you to look at me, all right? And no, not at him. Don't turn your head.
Yeah. Her head is like forcing just like towards you, but her eyes are looking, back at the guy.
I need you to look at me, Zoe. All right, look at me, not at him. It's all right. Look over here.
Look to me, now back to him. Look to me, now back to him.
I can't do this if you make me laugh, Kate.
I'm sorry. It's the first thing that hits my brain.
So, and he just kind of like looks at her directly in the eyes for like several seconds and whispers things to her, like soothing. Because right now I can't think of anything. Because all just kind of jumped out of my brain because I'm trying not to laugh. God damn it.
God damn it.
That happens to me all the time as a DM.
But he's basically telling her, that what he pulled out of that one guy, that these people aren't that far behind him, and these might have been too far gone. And you were defending a friend and things like that. And he just keeps going for like a minute until she's supernaturally forced to calm down, which sounds really bad, but fuck you.
No!
I mean, I will say that. Okay, here's how I will make it less coercive.
Can you read that skill to me, Callie?
It's not actually. It's not really magic. It's just. It's vaguely supernatural bullshit. Is how I flavor this.
I'm going to say it's like. Once again, going back to D&D, it's kind of like a calm emotions where you can choose whether or not it works on you. Since you're another player. Not how you would do it, TT.
Like, I'll take that if you'd like, but I can roll against you, or
some skills say how it works with other hunters. Manipulate. Like my mind control has rules for if I use that on a hunter. So this doesn't. So I'm assuming it just does this.
It also doesn't have like a skill thing attached to it, so I don't know how this works. But whatever the two keepers at the moment tell me, then I will do that.
It sounds like it just works.
It's a really weird skill.
Like looking at that, it doesn't have a
This is your
save.
mundane
I mean-
ability.
You need to have time for it to work.
Yeah.
But it there's no like if there's no skill roll attached, it sounds like it's just a thing that you can do.
Yeah, it's not mundane. That's one of the things I merked from a different playbook.
Okay.
Well, while you're talking to Zoe, what are other people doing?
Yeah. So you still have an enchanted arrow lodged in your shoulder.
Oh, am I supposed to pull this out or push it in?
It's at an
don't-
angle where pushing it in would push it into your abdominal cavity, because it was aimed downwards.
Oh, okay. Celia just yanks it out.
Oh my god!
You
Well,
take
you gotta
another
leave it in if
point
you
of
want the
magic
psychic
damage.
powers.
What was that?
You take another point of magic damage, ignoring armor.
Okay.
Ooh.
This thing is a monster killer.
So did you
I'll-
just have 4 damage?
I'll hold on to that. Kaika says as she hit.
Celia concentrates, rolling an act under pressure to regenerate. That is an 11, so I regain 2 hit points.
1 hit point.
Ooh. What the
So-
that was?
It doesn't heal as much as it's like a slower healing, but it's not preventing you from healing. It's just impeding it.
Like that thing they did with Wolverine.
That. Hal,
Smarts.
can I get some help with this?
You look
Zoe.
over and see Hal comforting Zoe.
Oh, okay.
Zoe puts a hand on Hal's hand and takes them off her face. Oh, help, Celia.
He's gonna search your eyes for a second and then nod and go and see if he can do anything about that.
Kaika, after you're done,
No, go ahead. I have to roll dice for
Kaika
this.
goes up to Julie. Are you alright? You just looks down to the guy who's dead.
Julie looks.
Oh.
Julie looks at Kaiko and says, I don't think I'm all right because I feel nothing right now.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, my rational brain is saying they were gonna kill us, so this was right. But
This one in particular was aiming a gun at Kaiko.
therapy, right? Therapy.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that sounds
Oh, wait,
good.
no,
I'll. There. Yeah, hopefully Aura knows someone, or. Hey, that Dalek was apparently wanted to be a therapist. That might be.
I'm not getting therapized by a pepper pot.
Meanwhile,
Oh.
Hunter, I feel great.
I'll pick it. Ow.
Wrong room. Wrong room, Callie.
What?
That's the art room.
Oh, it was, yeah. Well, yeah. So, how much damage did you have, Celia?
3.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can only heal 2 at a time, and he heals 2 at a time. But you notice him flinch.
That's fine.
You notice him flinch and take a deep intake of breath. He goes, "There you go."
That's better. Thank you, Hal.
And if anybody notices, he turns away and wipes underneath his nose real quick.
No.
You okay?
I think.
Fine.
Need a tissue?
You have one?
She reaches into her pocket and pulls out some tissues.
Thanks. And he takes it, and you notice they turn red.
How many tissues did you pull out of your pocket?
She has one of those little plastic packs. You know, those little plastic wrapped packs that you can just shove in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
This person
Like-
with sinus problems. Those are
Sorry
good.
about this, but Zoe snatches them, the whole thing after Hal grabs one.
Did you just mistake your own character for Celia?
I did. Shut up. Zoe snatched after Hal grabs one. Zoe snatches the whole pack away and starts frantically pulling out tissues and wiping at her face.
Yeah, you can just have those.
And like trying to get the blood off of her fangs.
So, Suki and Benedict, what you up to?
I'm
feel
poking the
great.
guy shot. Like with the butt of my rifle.
I feel just dandy.
No, I don't like mentioning this, but this isn't the first time I've seen this. Beyond that.
After she's cleaned her face as best she can, she shakily hands what's left back to Julie.
When I was young, there was someone broke into the house, and well, my sister, she well, it took a week to get the blood off my wall.
Jesus Christ.
Hal kind of like turns to Julie with the Kleenex under his nose and goes, "Yeah, therapy sounds good."
I know it's not the same, but it's like, yeah, we have issues we need to work out.
We should get some therapy.
Even if it is from a pepper box.
So are
We're gonna find someone who speaks in a normal tone of voice is what we're gonna do.
Are 5 people laying here dead? Zero.
Yeah, they all kind of were pushed out of trees or taken out.
So we fucking books it away from this scene.
General following after.
Yeah.
Kaiko's gonna take the arrow from Celia and wrap it up, and at the very least we can.
As you're holding it, you like look at it, and you see this. It's a stone arrowhead, but the Celia's blood like is boiling off of it as if it was hot metal.
Ooh.
But
arrows don't normally do that, do they?
And you see like on the shaft, there's like carved into the wood. There's like obscure runes that are vaguely familiar but also new. Like Kaiko, you've done so much like occult reading that this seems to be like a homemade kind of thing that they did. But as the group was kind of recovering, Phineas had walked into the field and was looking around, just kind of looking around, but he stoops down and was like messing with something in the dirt before, and then like he like stood up and was like cupping something in his hands as he walked up, but he didn't want to really interrupt this rather emotionally laden moment. But
What does he have?
He like goes over to Suki and Benedict because they seem to be the most but yeah, okay, well the hunter is gathering them for cremation. Phineas goes over to Suki because Suki seems to be the most composed at the moment and goes, "You won't believe what I found," as he's holding something cupped in his hand.
And Probably not. This entire week has been weird.
And he opens his hands, and there's a twig that, like a Y twig that very small, and tucked in between this little crook of two little twigs, there is a bone white pale chrysalis with a little vaguely skull shaped marking in the chrysalis, and he goes, "I think the worm is growing."
The worm was a caterpillar the whole time.
Oh, I am officially the worst person to answer this. Sounds great, bud. I don't know what that means.
Benedict,
I
before
don't
you cremate the
either.
bodies, before you start cremating them, Zoe grabs you and like kind of roughly shoves you away for a second and goes to the guy's corpse. And
So she came back then?
yes, and checks his pockets for an ID.
None of them were carrying ID. The only thing they were carrying in their pockets was like a few cents and like change that just probably kept in their pockets out of habit, but no IDs, and everything they had was like food stuff. So there actually was like a canteen, so you probably could have washed your mouth out.
What was his name?
Zoe, is this the first time you've ever killed a person?
First one's always the hardest. Also, the worm's growing, and I don't know what that means.
So what, like it's a caterpillar?
And he walks over, like Phineas walks over, still like carefully cradling this like twig with this, like, the chrysalis is only about as big as a person's thumb.
Well, Bewitched does weird things.
So
Yeah.
this is what the worm is in right? Normally?
I mean, and he goes, "This is the first I've heard of it being like this. I always heard it was just a big spiky worm with, a bunch of feet that itched around, flopped around eating things."
Damn it!
It was a caterpillar the whole time. It wasn't a worm. It was a caterpillar.
Oh god, what if it's a Mothman?
That'd be cute.
Do Mothman have caterpillars?
No.
We have Ivora on speed dial. We could ask.
Hal?
Yeah?
You give a little start as something buzzes against your leg, as you realize that the tracker in your pocket just had a little alert.
He's gonna take it out and check it.
And it's not a message. It's actually it's this little thing, because this little thing, it is a oh god, baby Mothman or Weebles. That's adorable. Okay, so it's detecting that this little cocoon is a very potent source of necrotic energy, similar to what the reconstructed were, but this is slightly different, like, frequency.
Oh yeah, that's
And Phineas goes, he's just like, I mean, maybe it's napping after it had a big meal. They said they did eat a bunch of reconstructed, right?
That's what it sounded like. You know what caterpillars do when they eat a lot, right?
Yeah, and he like gestures to the thing in his hands.
So,
We pupate.
So next time there's a Bewitched Melody, I don't think they're gonna get a worm.
And Phineas like looks over at the field. He's like, "Should I put it back or like bring it with us so it's safe?"
We need to keep it safe.
Is it safer with
And
us?
he like looks through the group and he's like holds it out like, I'm only like, I don't know how old. I'm not ready for this responsibility. I haven't been a dad this whole time. Don't put this on me now.
You're
I mean,
looking.
Fine.
You're looking at
To
a
be
group
fair,
composed of a frog lady, a man with a bloody tissue against his nose, a lady with her arm on fire, a lady with a needle for a hand, a lady who's just nonchalant about murdering people, a murder robot, and a giant snake moth. Who do you think is responsible here?
Suki takes the
Yeah.
worm.
It's not me.
Kaiko would have done it.
Kaiko, so if you draw close to it, the flame, like,
Yeah, I don't think
it's
Kaiko's a
that
good idea.
hunger. Because it senses also that is a very potent source of necrotic
Yeah,
energy.
probably not me then.
I'll take it. I
You know that whole
Candy
thing about
Steve
moth
needs a
and a
brother.
flame?
Yeah.
That's bad. It's Suki, you take it?
I guess it looks like Candy Steve is a big brother now. Little brother? How does that work?
And so you have acquired a Bunzua chrysalis.
A what?
Bunzua was the name of the worm.
Ah.
Bunzua the grave worm, so I guess it's Bunzua the chrysalis now. And yeah, it's like, it looks like, at first, it looks like a very detailed scrimshaw of like bone, just because of just the pattern and color of the chrysalis and the little skull shape that's in the back of it. But yeah, so you've managed to save the worm. What you all want to do now? It's about 45 minutes from dawn, I'd say.
45 minutes from our end time, so
Yeah.
Alright, let's head to the museum then.
Okay. So, everyone gathers back up. Zoe, the general, is very pointedly giving you attention, giving you love.
She is not getting the general. She has like all four arms, like, wrapped around herself. When you grab your arm,
Yeah. So I'll say that. So you start hiking again, and I won't ask for a roll just because we are getting a little tight on time. And since it is getting closer to dawn, things are getting a little more winding down for the undead. So with the trackers.
Big question first: did we pass by the staring contest again?
Yes, and there has been no development.
Most exciting sport in the world.
They're freaking dedicated over there.
See, that gargoyle is going to be locked in place for the whole time, and when the necromancer dies and then I'll reconstruct it all keel over, the observer's going to be like, I win!
And yeah, you pass by them, and they're just continuing to stare each other down. And you continue, and you it's probably easier for the group and more familiar territory to go along the northern edge of town and then hit the river and then go down the river to the museum. Jesus.
Would a museum be about cows?
Yes.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if there is actually like an agriculture museum called the museum.
Let me get on Google.
It needs to be in Calprint.
If it's in Wisconsin, I'll go visit it.
Fun fact, the high school I graduated from, like literally right across the street, there was a furniture store, and it was all cow themed. It had a big ass plastic cow out in front, and I would see that every time I waited for the fucking bus to leave.
That cow taunted you.
Yeah, the cow taunted me, looking over my shoulder the whole time while I'm trying to browse the internet. Judging me.
You're able to. I don't remember what I said the travel time would be, but as you start getting closer to town,
You about an hour, you
dawns.
said?
Yeah, so it's that weird like pre-dawn light that's even murkier because it's still overcast. No rain really, but it is, and the thunder has died off.
It is the Hino Day, which is a time period between where dawn happens, but the sun hasn't risen yet.
Yeah, and it is. You see as you like pass the town at you give the town a good distance, and you like look over, you do see like filing into like a storm cellar on the side of a building, like on the edge of town. You see like a group of zombies and a few reconstructed filing in before they close the door behind them. And
you see them, Zoe makes like a bit of
You good?
chip down the wrong windpipe.
I hate that.
Zoe makes like a pathetic, very, very a pathetic whining, basically.
Celia sits down next to her.
She flinches.
We'll talk about all of this when this is all done, okay?
Uh-huh.
It'll be fine, Zoe. It'll be fine.
I don't think it will.
It will.
So the group, you see the river ahead, and once you hit it, you'll have to like turn south and follow it, but it's safer than going through the town, even this close to dawn. But as you approach the river, you start walking along it, and it's going pretty faster than you saw it after the pretty intense rain of the night.
There was no fish last time we were at the river, right?
You actually did see a talon, the talons that you and Celia took out. You actually saw one pull a fish out of the river and start eating.
Oh, okay.
But as you start approaching, and the river's pretty, flowing pretty faster than it normally does from the storm. The Celia, because you're the one most in key with the rivers and waters. Oh, excuse me. And it's like a second nature to watch out for things in the water. You look, as out of the corner of your eye, you see something slice through the water, and there's like a single. At first, you think it's a fin, like a shark's fin, but then you realize, no, that's not a fin. That's a horn, like a single horn that seems to curve forward out of the water. Not too large, it's like a bull's horn almost, and it's coming right towards the group as you're like walking along the river's edge.
Hold on, we got a salamander incoming.
Well, Celia saw it.
Oh,
guys,
because
there's a thing coming towards us.
What?
Right there. See?
Idiot turns around, and he goes, like he's tense, like ready. He's like, "Oh, okay, I know this guy. He's kind of a dick sometimes, but he should be okay." And stepping out of the water, you see this horn in between a pair of eyes popped out of the water, like above the water surface. These pair of frog eyes, and then a frog's head, rather large frog. And then stepping forward, you see not frog's legs, but bull's legs, and then a tail lashing behind it. As stepping out of the river, the Fiddler's Green bullfrog steps out.
Oh my god!
God damn it!
Oh my god!
And,
damn it!
And there's a very loud croaking noise as you see its throat expand for like a few times, and then it goes, "Phineas, there you are." And he goes, yeah, hey, how's it going? And he goes, bad. Water is poisoned. They go after Baga.
Oh,
And
are the chemicals they've put into water turning you gay?
Baga.
Was the dire hellbender that you heard about previously.
Oh yeah.
We took out 2 things in the creek earlier.
You know if the
Are
hellbender's
they-
okay?
It goes, it is hiding, and like it looks over to you and then croaks and says, it is hiding behind the waterfall. Don't know how long until they find it.
Which waterfall?
The waterfall.
The one with the giant tree above it.
Yes. It lives in the roots.
Oh.
And it goes, I think they are waiting for the overlapping time.
That's what we thought.
And they go, I do not like the taste of these things. And they do that frog like, "Rrr, rrr," and then they just spit out like a stinger's head, and then just like give it a kick with the hoof.
Yeah, he says taste, and like Zoe's just fucking shivers.
I mean, it's a frog. These things will eat anything that comes.
Yeah, but like, Zoe got that guy in her mouth.
Yeah. So, and it goes, I will continue to keep watch. Are you going to be by the river still?
We are heading to the museum because we are mostly exhausted.
And it looks down the river and goes, I know where that is.
Well, gang, it seems that we're gonna have to deal with go directly to the waterfall then.
No, we need sleep.
After sleep.
Okay.
Because the cultists with the bones in the cauldron, they still need to get back with the bones so we can intercept them or destroy the cauldron before they get back. Or we can call the apes the apes or something to intercept them.
So the bullfrog does a loud croak and it goes, I will return to keep watch.
Wait.
And they turn and they stop.
Thanks, Toad Cow.
You know where the waterfall is.
And they just kind of like look up the river and it goes, yes.
And do you know where the necromancer is hiding?
No.
He looks to the rest of the group.
You're not going on your own.
I'm merely scout. I would merely scout.
No. That's dangerous and stupid.
It is daytime. It is the best
Doesn't matter.
opportunity.
They know you're there. They're not going to want to let you leave.
They can try.
You are not going.
Pretty badass
You
suggestion,
are
though.
in no condition to fight.
I am in any condition I need to be.
I mean, that's not true.
I will not have your death on my hands
And
because
I
you
will not
refuse
have
to heed
yours.
sound advice.
Benedict.
You're not the only one in there. You don't get to decide what happens to him.
Benedict, Zoe, stop. Think about it for just a second. Benedict, if you leave us and we're sleeping and somebody happens upon us, what happens then?
I concede to that.
I was muted for a second. I sneezed. Phineas pipes up and goes, "Yeah, I get it. I get it, Benedict. Let me call out for Joe. Maybe they can go look around too. During the day, it should be easier for them."
Very well.
Zoe is like,
Al did just that voice.
Zoe is glaring at Benedict.
Perfect. I wanted to make him an asshole.
Pretty good. You
This feels
succeeded.
like dinner with my parents.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
And so the bullfrog saying that wasn't message delivered is going to go back in, but it pauses and looks to you, Celia, and then just gives a really does that bull bow thing where it bends one leg and lowers its front and it goes, "Sister," and then goes into the river.
God, I was expecting a milady.
He attempts to return the bow,
Oh my
but
god.
Blady,
You can curtsy.
blady. Gentlemen frogs. It's just an entire croaking ballast of lady.
Oh no!
No, they all have hats.
They all have hats.
Frogs don't deserve that.
I mean, when bullfrogs croak at night, what do you think they're croaking for?
Yeah, true.
No,
Mhm.
no.
It's like, no.
They're all simps.
Well, frog dating app had to be canceled because lack of women.
I love that.
Simp?
I love that
Simp is
video
different
where
than the
it's.
lady.
I love the video where it's the two
Lady.
tiny rain frogs, and they're both in the gutter, and because the resonance is making them sound equally big, they just
Yeah, they
increasingly
fucking
get
wrestle
closer.
each
But
other. It's the funniest thing. They get so mad, and yet their bodies are so tiny.
it's like
How
watching
you
angry
continue
squeaky
switching.
toys.
It's like watching two fucking squeaky toys trying to wrestle for dominance in a epic battle, but from our human perspective, it's just what the fuck.
You know the old Budweiser commercials where all the bullfrogs
yeah.
are like, Budweiser.
That's precisely what I was referencing.
It's
Yeah,
the
lady.
lady.
Oh, I hate it.
No, we're moving on. We're moving on.
I mean, hey, a bunch of bullfrogs with fedoras. Don't you mean Discord mods?
No,
my
we're moving on.
my mom's cousin's husband had a novelty alarm clock where it was the Budweiser frogs for the alarm.
That's cute.
And
Okay.
but so Benedict has been convinced not to go off on his own, right?
Hmm.
For now. And the bullfrog is now back into the water, and you see the horn slicing through the water like a shark fin before it just dives deeper, going against the current. And
Just go to the museum.
and
Did he just chuckle?
Not in character, no.
Okay, okay,
He does not have a funny bone in him. In
okay.
fact, he has no bones whatsoever.
he breaks bones.
I do not understand
Oh
the
no,
concept
oh
of
no, I
humor.
thought of a terrible joke. I thought of a terrible joke. Oh, no.
Nora, indulge
What?
us.
Oh god.
You have no choice.
Say it.
There. No, it's bad.
I mean, the joke I was
mean-
gonna say.
I mean,
You
we
gotta
all
be
know
careful.
the only bone that Benedict had was for Franklin.
No, Miracle Mary can give him one.
Mhm.
Ooh.
I told
Upgrade.
you. I told told you it was real bad.
You guys are really trying to sail this ship, ain't you?
This is so funny. So we need these moments of levity with this nightmare I've thrown you all into.
This gets
Yes.
After we resolve,
You're making me feel bad for what comes next. I might have to change something to be more light.
What's that, Lydia?
after we've solved all these problems and put an end to this nightmare, we are all gonna have a nice, lovely picnic and talk about our feelings.
Isaac's gonna show up for that picnic and be like, "What the hell did I miss? Are you all okay?
No.
God, did I need to make cocoa?"
Yes. The fact that you said this guy looks like Isaac is just gonna fucking destroy her
No,
later.
I meant to say like around his. I meant to say around his age, not like that he looked like Isaac.
It's just enough for
Yes.
Zoe's young mind to.
Although Isaac does
Connect the
kind of
two.
have like a goatee. But he's
He has
like
Oh,
a
no.
straight
hair.
Oh no, the person I killed was a boomer, just like Isaac.
He's it's like an early millennial because I'm an early millennial.
Yeah, but Zoe's young, and young
Oh,
people
yeah,
call
true.
all people older than their generation boomer now.
No. Well, Zoe
So
doesn't do
Zoe
that.
would think Isaac is a boomer.
Zoe's never done that.
So
Sorry,
Um,
Zoe, you're a zoomer.
She's a zoomer, but she's never called anyone a boomer.
continuing on because we're getting close to game time.
Yes.
Okay, so okay,
To the museum.
yep, to the museum, and following the river, like you pass a little close to town a couple of times because the town's not built right up to the river. There's still like fields and stuff sometimes, or like smaller houses or isolated houses, but following along you see up ahead actually up on the river, because it used to be the old lumber mill where they would send the lumber from further up the river. You see a building that is pretty obviously the old mill lumber museum, or the old what did I write? The old lumber mill Fiddler's Green Museum. Jeez, I need to do better like naming for places. But and it looks to be standing in pretty good condition. Looks like it was locked up, pretty well. And yeah, actually approaching it, you see that actually all the doors are locked, so you're gonna have to find a way inside.
There's there a window?
Kaiko canonically has a lockpicking kit.
Yep. So I'll say that it's not a super complex lock. You don't even have to roll for it because it's just small town lock. They don't really invest that much in it. But pop it open, side door, and go inside. And it's a quaint little museum. It's more like a little visitor center kind of deal for the town, where it's like local history. You see, the main room is like, it's mainly a large central room with some of the larger displays, and you see like some taxidermied animals, like a big grizzly bear. You see elk heads, different animals. And yeah, it just seems like a cozy little museum. And there's some halls that are more other exhibits that are further in. Riley said it was in the vault.
Not for public viewing, probably.
Yeah, but
I'm going to the vault.
Yeah. Okay.
Alone,
And
unless someone follows.
yeah, Benedict, do you feel any compulsion?
First, he's going to make sure to secure the perimeter.
Okay. So
Yeah, they said these things crawl into basements and the houses, so we should probably check every nook and cranny of this place first of all.
Okay. Then I'll ask for 2 people to do an investigative mystery. Just
Hey,
I shall
Julie.
do that.
Hey, Julie, you want to do that thing you did earlier?
Kill a person?
I thought she was going to say, Kaiko, not now.
Sorry, I'm still hung up at that. What do you mean?
Oh, you know the thing where you yelled and all the monsters came after you?
Oh, yeah, sure, okay. Hey, fuck faces! Okay, I gotta roll cool.
We could have just
Oh,
looked.
Yes! Yes!
Did you fail?
I got a
Oh
13!
no, you didn't. You see
On a
that?
10 plus, everyone stops to listen to you until you finish your opening speech.
So, Zoe, you started to slither back, and then you just hear Julie start. You have to pop your head around the corner.
What the
God.
You see,
What's your
this
age?
is my stab stick! And she goes on
Oh
to
my God.
paraphrase Ash in Army of Darkness.
So, okay, actually,
Kaiko has a shotgun loaded with assault bullets just in case.
you don't hear anything. It seems that, from what you can hear from this area, nothing comes running out of the rooms. And Zoe, like you're like pretty much in another room when this went off, so you're pretty sure that carried throughout this museum because it's not too big, but that was dramatic.
Yeah.
So you actually though, Zoe, the reason you didn't actually the reason why the group didn't see this, Zoe, is because when you turned around to go back, there's actually a talon that froze in place upon seeing you. Only this talon is slightly different than others you've seen. It is this one has dino damage. It is
It's hurt.
yeah, it is only has its left arm, its right arm is severed like mid bicep. It looks like broken off. There's like cracks in its armor. It looks like it was thrown around. And across the dome on its head, you actually see a familiar pattern of 3 lines that you would probably guess to be talon strike, because they have 3 claws.
Wait, like another talon attacked it?
That looks to be because you've been hit with that attack, and you've seen your friends hit with it and how to heal it, and you saw the survivors, and it is a very similar pattern. But it just froze in place upon seeing you, as it seemed to be responding to Julie's cry, but you were in the way.
At first, when she sees it, Zoe doesn't like flinch away. She actually starts like puffing herself up again, and for a second looks like she's starting to get very, very angry. But then she notices
it seems to flinch at that and just does this hiss, like kind of like a cat, like a warning cat hiss, because it's on all 3 limbs, as it just kind of like starts to back up because you're much bigger than it.
When she notices the injuries, though, specifically that slash mark, she deflates.
Remember what?
Hey. And she like lowers herself down more. Did another one of you hurt you?
And it doesn't have any eyes, but it is, you can tell just by the way it's clocking you, it is focused on you. And it does another like this like almost rattling hiss. You don't know if these things have lungs or vocal cords, but it is like it's posturing. It doesn't want you to get any closer, and it is starting to back away, like slowly.
He's not getting closer. I was like, hey, you don't need to run.
Zoe, you need to it.
I can help you. And I want to attempt to communicate with it.
Remind me, do you have the ability to?
I have
to,
Dark
like...
Negotiator, yes.
Okay,
Scrolling
go
down
ahead and
to
roll.
it. I'm scrolling to it, to reading what it does. No, it's Dominion, Berserk. You can use to manipulate someone, move on monsters, as well as people, as long as they can reason and talk. That is a 9.
That mixed.
I believe, yes. Let me check what manipulate someone does on a mixed.
Oh, right, manipulate.
Yeah.
7 or 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show you mean it.
Okay. Yo, you know what? She's going to shapeshift back into a human.
I got a can of wet food.
And like put her hands up to show that she and her like open her mouth and put up her hands to show that she doesn't have like her claws or teeth or anything. See, I won't hurt you.
So you say that after you pull your skin away and out that's a human, right?
Yeah.
It's
my chest.
It like
goes
because it like backs up further into the hallway that it was like leaving.
No.
But it was more of a skitter of a shock as it just like backs up a few feet and then just like looks from the skin that's on the ground and then up to you, like confused, and then just kind of tilts its head curiously. It's no longer hissing, but it just seems now just like curious.
Emotions for it to come forward.
Wait. I don't have to be what I was born into.
Yeah.
And
I can change. You don't need to be what something else made you. You have a choice, no matter what other people say. No matter what the choir is saying in your head. No matter what you were physically molded into. I saw you, one like you before. You have a mind that is yours. They can't take that from you.
And it's no longer like hunched in that like on all threes. I keep trying to say all fours, but on all threes.
Yeah.
And it's just like now it's just kind of like perching on its, like sitting on the balls of its feet. Like it looks ready to like either pounce or run at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it like sits there with its remaining arm like on its knee as it's just watching you as you're speaking. It doesn't. Yeah, the hostility is gone from it. Although, even just from what you saw at first, there wasn't really a hostility. It was a defensiveness.
Yeah. She pulls out a candy bar.
And it like looks down at it and at your hand. You're not sure if it like can like make out details, but there's a hesitation before it slowly reaches out a clawed hand, and I think that's probably about the time Benedict you walk in.
No.
You were going to follow after, right?
No. Fuck.
That was me laughing. I'm sorry.
Oh no! This is gonna go so badly.
One of my folks is like, "What the hell was that?" So
I'm sorry, but
that's the sound of evil.
But I'm sorry, but Benedict did say he was following after Zoe after the search.
He did?
I said I'm going to make sure all the I'm going to search the perimeter first before heading to that book.
Oh God.
How much do we want to traumatize Zoe this arc?
How
How much do you
does
want to
Zoe-
hate Benedict and then have awkward feelings when he's a different person?
How much is Zoe?
Wouldn't have Benedict been caught up in Julie's spiel anyways?
You would have had to look
Yeah,
at
but like it's past by now.
Yeah, like that was Zoe. Like once Julie did it, Zoe stopped and like turned around and saw the Talon that was going to go watch Julie's speech, but ran into Zoe first and had that like, oh shit, fight or flight indecisiveness. And it froze instead of the other two Fs.
Well,
So I ask you, Zoe, how badly do you want to hate Benedict?
I will say, just to paint it, you see Zoe in her human form, this snake skin, moth cat skin, is on the ground, and she's reaching out as this thing is reaching with its, its fingers are like blades for the end half of their fingers are like sharpened bone.
Sweet.
It's 2 fingers and a thumb.
Do you
and
mind?
Zoe's like,
Do you
Zoe's
mind, Nora?
what are you going to do?
What do
Oh
you
no!
think?
What are you going to do?
What do you think his instinct's gonna be?
No!
Mm,
No! I'm not.
I'm,
Anyone else
guys,
is following,
this
I
is
guess.
getting too much for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can handle player conflict in a little bit, but this is getting too much even for me. I'm sorry.
All right. I shall tone it down.
This is giving me some real bad flashback.
Yeah,
It helps.
Sorry.
Me and DC are okay.
Still, I'm not.
Okay.
and that's
I shall
fine.
respect that then.
Yes. Then let's
Well,
reverse
he doesn't
this.
do
How
anything.
much do you want the hunter's worldview challenged?
Hmm. Well, for respect of the hunter does notice this and does instinctually reach for the gun on his hip, but after a moment, the hand just stays there. It's probably going to be the Talon that notices him first.
Yeah, because the head whips around to you and it like recoils without taking the candy bar like back into the hallway.
He hasn't moved at all. He's just standing there.
All right. Well, she does not turn. But she just is the, the whipping of the head. But she does not turn. She's like, no. Look at me. We're not going to hurt you. And she says "we're" a little louder. She doesn't know who's there, but she knows someone is. We can help you. And she takes a slow step forward with the candy bar still.
Okay, I was worried that you all heard my stomach just rumble.
No, you're good.
Um,
Whoever's there, go get Julie. Please.
does the hunter listen?
Sorry, someone was talking to me.
So he
Give
said,
me a rewind.
Zoe said, whoever's there, go get Julie. Please.
If it were physically possible for his eyes to narrow, it would, but he does about face and leave the hall.
And while the rest of the group was out after Julie's speech, this room, this main room, that's kind of like a lobby slash, like visitor center area. So there's like some pretty comfy like couches that you could push together, or benches, some chairs, you could, and cushions that you could, pile up. And Benedict, as you walk out, Julie's asleep. She's just crashed in one of the chairs.
Aw.
Except Julie's clawed hand is like jittering like a spider. And
He
We're
looks
going-
down and regards the needles.
Is Kaiko still be up?
Yeah, Julie just passed the fuck out.
Mhm.
But everyone else, depends. It's been only a few minutes. But
Julie is
Julie's a
snoring.
creature of whim.
Good. Dilly, you're wanted.
She's out. And
Well.
we're going to actually Julie,
Mm-hmm.
you feel a hand shake you awake, and you're like frustrated because you just fell asleep. You
Jesus
just
fucking
found a very
Christ,
comfy
dude.
chair. But as you open your eyes, you're not sitting, you're standing on the edge of a cliff face. As you look out over Fiddler's Green and you see, it's a different view from the previous night's prophetic vision. But it is, you recognize Fiddler's Green, and you see the sky is this shifting, twisting war of purple and green. That same green you've seen throughout the Reconstructed, as if the very heavens are at war with each other, casting an eerie twilight over this valley. And you look over to follow the path of this river, this once rich, earth life-giving river is turning black and acrid as you look up and see, much like the meteor Wormwood, this meteor is corrupting the land and poisoning the waters. And you look up and see this tree, this massive tree that seems to reach up into the sky, big enough that it seems to have the sun captured behind its, within its branches. And you see a flash of green lightning lance out of the sky and strike this tree as a tear burns through it, and you hear an earth-shattering bellow of pain. It shakes the very ground beneath you, and you almost fall off this cliff face. But a hand catches you, and you look up, and it is a figure that you've seen before, back when you first unlocked these gifts of yours. You see the sleeper standing there on the edge, this hominid creature of bone and tar, catches you and steadies you and says, "They must not destroy the tree." And you you see the tree start to burn with this green flame consuming it, as you see the sky go from this warring color, and then the green just consumes it all. And that's where we're going to pause for the night.
Well, shit. Can I add one little bit to the end of that?
Yes.
As Julie's watching all this, she's impressed by the importance of the vision, and says aloud, "Oh fuck, I'm not gonna remember this. Do you think maybe you could help me relay the message?" And a hand made of needles, much like the one on her own arm, tenderly places itself on her shoulder. And as Julie looks up to the body that bears the hand, it gives her a knowing nod.
Excellent.
Woo!